I guess you do that, but I mean, you didn't give me a script. Anyway, these guys are huddling, so like, hold on one sec.
All right. I guess the song is over, which means that we've got a one. Oh, camera's broken. We got a two.
Two.
That means we got a all right.
Mine's working.
Welcome back to the It's
Oh,
Always
wow.
Not Working Right
That's black.
TrutherCast.
Welcome to the black screen.
Let's see. Can we fix this quickly? How's this work?
Welcome back. This is how we do it.
Hey, I fixed it. All right. So we got a welcome back to the TrutherCast, home of the TrutherCast. Hopefully you can hear the microphones all right so that we can take your truth order. If you are not familiar with the show, we are not attempting to just be another two dudes on the old internet complaining. We are, your alternate news, kind of like politics, pop culture, and news kind of roundup kind of dig. So, if you're into getting a nice weekly roundup of information that the mainstream media may be completely, lying through obfuscation about, or maybe just straight lying to your face about, here's the place to catch up on things, man. We're going to go over all of my posts that I post throughout the week in my locals community. You can go there by clicking on locals.massdash.com down in the description box down below. It's a nice link right in the description box, but if you're typing it in, it's 3 S's in a row, 4 in the whole word, locals.massdash.com. That's our private community where it's not censored by the big tech conglomerates. It only may be censored by me, the Scott conglomerate.
The small tech conglomerate.
Yeah, small tech conglomerate.
Yeah.
So you can, come on in and support alternate technology like the Rumble. Thank you for showing up here today. And the Locals, which, is like a non-censored Google feed. So you head on over to my locals.massdash.com community. And there you can sign up for free. It costs you no money. If you would like to keep the lights on here at the show, you could sign up for the premium squad. You can use the discount code Better News Feed and save yourself some money, but that always drops a tip in the old bucket for us. But when you head on over there and you make a free account and you sign up, it's the best place because it's where you keep all the receipts, man. So we're going to be going through last week's receipts and, last week or all the weeks before, whenever you're talking with your friends, your family, your foes, if you need to pull up the receipt, you just go to the Locals, appy on your phone. You go to our community, the Mass Dash of Insights, and you can search for the thingy you're talking about, and boom, you show them. And I don't know about you, but even friends and family will be like, bro, I don't know, like, where'd you see that one? And if I can pull up the thingy I saw it from, they go, oh, well, now I kind of believe you. Nobody believes anybody at face value anymore, Dan.
And if they say they don't, you ask them what's so different when they see what they see on CNN and believe that's real. And if they still oppose, then you call them a bigot. That's what they're being.
And you say, you're not being my friend. You don't believe
you were
me.
supposed to be the one not being a bigot. Here you are being a bigot.
And I mean, if you don't want to spend any money on the show yet because you're new around here, or like, hey, you just keep a tight pocketbook, Dan loves to make sure that you know how to not be a hoe.
Share that show, host.
And sometimes
Brought to
Mr.
you.
T tells you, but
Yeah. Brought up through me in an alternate identity.
the alternate dimension.
Wouldn't that be some shit? I'm just out there fighting crime as Mr. T at night. Not Batman. You're gonna fear. Oh no, I can't say what my superhero name, I don't think, is since we're streaming on YouTube. I think I'll.
Is it
we'll
like
get
the
a flag.
Facebook one where you make your stripper name?
Yeah,
Okay.
basically.
Okay, cool,
I
cool,
think
cool.
so. That would
So
sound about right.
if you are, coming back to the show, thank you so very much. I appreciate your support. If you're a longtime supporter of the Scott Show, but is a first-time viewer of the TrutherCast show, I also really appreciate you being here. But if you've got a Rumble account, you should definitely be hanging out with us in the live chat down below. Sometimes Rumble doesn't like to work, because like alt tech is expensive, right? And we're still like building it. So like me right now, I'm going to have to like swipe up, swipe the app away, open the app back up, go back over to the video, and then jump in the live chat so I can hang out with you all down there. But if you're in the live chat, definitely make sure to shout out, say hi, and, let us know what you think your, most interesting factoid of last week may be that needs some more awareness, or let us know what your take on a news topic that we're going over is, because, it's way more fun when you engage and, like, hey, what the hell's the point of being here if you guys don't talk back at us, man?
And that's how all of this goes, from word of mouth. That's always been and will be the best way of spreading of info. So if there's not something on the feed, you gotta like chime in there. Let us know. Maybe it'll catch us off guard, and then we'll all have realization and awareness of something new.
Dan, are you trying to say we're the media now?
Ooh. I mean, yes, I was totally trying to say that.
Okay, because that might just go ahead and segue us into the first one here. Man, where's my better mouse? I like this mouse better. That might just segue us right into the Andrew Tate story. Okay, so we're gonna So the headline here is Cali on fire. Mark Zuckerberg is a flip flopper, and like what is the real story and everything, right? But I'm gonna just like start the show off like we should, on a nice squirrel. Just like squirrel, just hard squirrel.
Do
to
what
the
we
left.
do best.
While I'm pulling this up, another way that you could help the show out, and this one definitely helps you a little bit more than just getting like a weekly roundup of news and whatnot. You could most certainly check that link description box down below and, click on that signup.toleratetech.com button, but only do it if you got a computer and you wish you had a like-minded tech guy friend, because I would love to be your new tech guy. So if you click on that signup.toleratetech.com down below, it's going to have a whole bunch of information and tell you how you could sign up for my program, the Tolerate Tech System, because every show is sponsored by me and my company, Revival Tech Solutions. So click on that. Check out the more information, like maybe don't do it now because you're supposed to watch the show and engage in the live chat. But, like before you got to go, right? You click on that, or maybe you open it up now real quick, and then you hop back over to the video and hang out with us for the rest of the show. But
hey, you're asking so much of these people.
I know, right? You got to do this. You got to do that. You got to do that. You got to do this. So if you want some help with your computer, though, I could help protect it. I could help you keep it running well, and I could be your remote or local support guy. And, I heard people tell me I'm a lot better than Best Buy, folks, a lot better. Best Buy is really falling apart right now. It's not a great
That squad
company.
of geeks isn't quite what it used to be.
I don't know if it's DEI or it's just, the maturity of the technology landscape, but they're just not as good as they used to be. So I heard that Revival Tech is a lot better. A lot of people go from Best Buy, You Break, I Fix, or whatever they are. What is You Break, I Fix anyway? They spelled it wrong. I
might
think
have
it's a good idea.
I might have heard a rumor. Big government, big corp might have got involved a little bit, and that's where they went to crap.
So make sure to check out that signup.toleratetech.com down below, and that one will definitely help us keep the lights on here. But
Back from commercial break.
speaking of We Are the Media, this isn't even this is Mr. Andrew Tate, if you're not familiar. Oh, it's more fun when things are broken on the show. So hold on, we gotta fix this winder right here. Okay, here we go. Bang bang.
See him with his fast fixing skills live.
So okay, so he did like a pop out one where he like called out straight up, just like knocked out the news media that was like talking to him, and he was like, because we are the media now, you're not the media anymore, that we are, so like screw you guys. In fact, You guys were doing a lot of lying about me and my brother while we were in here. So do any of you guys, that have a brain want to say sorry to us right now? Do any of you want to say sorry? And then there's like crickets, and then one guy's nodding his head. He's a good chap. All right, like somebody tell him he'll get a prize. Tell him to pick out a car. I'm gonna leave now. But the main story here, to not bury the lead,
Tate.
is what's it called? It's not it is Prime Minister. Okay, I was right on that one. So he officially says that he's gonna run for UK Prime Minister, and like, dude, this guy is definitely a crazy bastard. Now, I like him a lot. New Tate 2.0 is pretty positive. He's all about like being a man and like, morals and scruples. But the dude did have like a, slutty webcam girl business kind of thing. That's a little risky, And then they tried to get him on allegations of like, woman trafficking and like, like sexual harassments.
Hence the background, it'd be a plausible story that they could possibly stick.
Right.
Got background that makes it a little more plausible for somebody that doesn't know.
But recently, if you didn't know, the whole case was completely thrown out.
Right, yeah, and it was coincidentally right around the time when Trump was found to be the popular voted
Was elected,
president.
bro, yeah. It was like a little bit after, man.
Oh, it was after the confirmation, wasn't it?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
After like the certified, right?
Yeah,
It was just recent.
After Kamala had to certify her own law.
That was a week. Yeah, making history, bro. The first woman ever that had to certify her own laws. Man, put that on a plaque and send it to Kamala.
The great mind of Tim Pool with that right on that one. That was Tim Pool.
That's a good. Yeah. No, kudos to Tim Pool on that.
He's edgy. He's like a comedian, but not in a comedic space at all.
Yeah.
With that,
Like
he
professional news
like
comedian?
pushing the envelope like Dave Chappelle in the political world.
Man, I want to pull up his like bitch at the. Okay, so that's like the official one. That's maybe not as fun to listen to, even though
the one you're addicted to.
every time. Well, the one that I saw where he was like smashing
grinding into that guy that they interviewed.
No. Like
No,
when he
different one.
mentioned the like I'm gonna run for prime minister here.
Okay.
He was getting hit with like the media outside. Where is it? But anyway, if you're not familiar with Andrew Tate guy, man, he maybe he did some unscrupulous business kind of practices, but apparently nothing criminal because they actually had no crime on him. The whole thing has been thrown out. And then he is popularized for calling it an attack from the Matrix, which, hey, if you've been a, tinfoil hatter for any amount of time, we kind of agree.
It's not like the whole Russia and Trump thing wasn't found out to be a hoax. Which people still don't realize that the courts literally ruled that it was fake.
Which it's kind of
they
tougher
made
to
it
say.
up. The opposition, the opposing party, just your political enemy. We're doing stuff of
Can't find it.
what big civilizations fell to.
Which
the
I can't necessarily say it makes sense that he would be on the level of like say a Trump or something like that. Because he's small guy, Trump big guy or something, right? But dude, he definitely seems to have been attacked by the Romanian government, and they tried to take him down, man. Like they tried to cancel him entirely. We'll just have to listen to the officially one, man.
Well, Romanian.
it's so good
Is
when
the
he
Romanian
treated-
government just one of our more like branched out? We got an arm in over there.
So we do have a Thai connection to them, and we
Mhm.
found out like
Yeah.
after this whole thing started, something we're like giving them money through Israel or something, and it's like all tied in and shit.
Interesting. What are we looking, or what are you looking for now?
Man, it was the one where he just like gave the like media the business, and he told them that he's gonna run for prime minister.
Interesting. There was that video that we were going to watch.
Yeah,
It's
that's
so
the one I
far.
shared.
Does he not say it in it? Is it that one? Is it the one?
No, it was
Yeah,
him
he
talking
was
to you.
yelling.
But here, we'll just listen to this one for now.
Ladies and gentlemen of the United Kingdom, my name is Andrew Tate. I'm the leader of the BRUV Party, Britain Restoring Underlying Values, and I'm here to introduce myself to you as the only hope and chance for the once Great Britain to repair itself.
By the way, he has small ego.
Tiniest ego of a guy I've ever seen or met.
From the eternal decline we are unfortunately being subjected to. I'm extremely rich and very successful, And although this has not brought me much happiness or any new friends, it has certainly increased the variety and capability of my enemies. They have locked me in Romania for over 3 years. The UK Foreign Office instructed the Romanians to do exactly this on false charges, charges that even Romanian courts now are admitting were completely fabricated because they fear my influence. And they fear my influence because the United Kingdom has been hijacked by Satanists who have absolutely no concern for the people they are supposed to work for. They work for big banking interests and they ignore their constituents absolutely. There is currently nobody within the political class which will do the things which are necessary to repair our once great country.
I mean, it's like not like it's untrue. It seems like he's going for like UK Trump, bro.
Right? Yeah, yeah, no, definitely.
I'm very rich, and a lot of people don't like me, so I've got big enemies. Okay, it's very much like Trump. Okay, Trump's got a lot of big enemies because he's bloody rich. All right, so I'm gonna do this, but over in the UK.
He is definitely the bald Trump.
There is no reason for a city with a legacy like London to be running with blood and for drugs to constantly
I feel like he's
he's
a lot more like outspoken with it though. Like Trump is a little more laid back with it. But
well, I feel like that's because he's old now. He used to be a little bit more like.
I feel like he's always been a little more like easy going into it. Like he'll roast you, but he's like he carries that like, hey, I'm a pit bull right up front. You know, I'm gonna mess with you. Oh, I don't even. I can't.
No, this dude's
with the look of it.
tough,
I can't.
Right?
I can't. Pitties aside, pitties are wonderful. They're not all mean. We love the pitties. Half of them are all just docile as hell. That wasn't a joke against trying to, down on the pitties. The pit bulls are some of the lovingest, but they have that stereotype to them.
Welcome, Mr. Paul W. Thanks for joining the show. And then let's check out a couple
Trump's
more.
more like a, I don't know what dog looks not too bad, but then if you piss him off, he could have a look to him. That's how I'd say Trump is. He doesn't necessarily look like he's going to bark at you.
I mean, some people say Labradoodles are like that.
That probably, yeah.
Found on our streets. There is no reason for a country like Great Britain that once had the most formidable navy on the planet to be endlessly invaded, incapable of defending its own borders. The decisions that our rulers are currently making are not accidental, and I no longer believe it is incompetence. It is simply malice. They are deliberately trying to destroy our society. They are two-tier policing on purpose. They're allowing us to be invaded on purpose. They're allowing crime to run rampant on purpose. They're allowing drugs to run rampant on purpose. Because the politicians do not work for you. They work for somebody else. And those people want the UK and all of Western civilization to be destroyed.
Like, bruh, he's like, I mean, like, if you're familiar with Andrew Tate, he's been saying this for a few years now. And this is why we all speculate that, the Matrix tried to take him out and do the whole like smear campaign and take him down for sexual allegations, as the machine does very often. Trump, J.D. Vance, Kavanaugh, right? So he was one of these people that they tried to take down with the sexual allegation stuff. Russell Brand, they tried running a story on that, and they tried to cancel him on a news piece, just being like, maybe. Like, it wasn't even like anything's brought up in court. Like, nobody had gone to court and like tried to bring up a case or anything. They were like, we maybe heard that like some girl might say like, oh, geez.
Like, oh, man, looks like there's a huge case here to look into.
Yeah, wild. So this man, freaking wacko Andrew Tate, like, Lord knows, bro, leaders are not going to be docile. Leaders are not going to be non-narcissistic. They're not going to be slightly sociopathic. And, like maybe a leader here or there, but like the big magnanimous ones that like maybe like big change, like a Steve Jobs, crazy son of a biscuit.
I say, yeah, where
Bill Gates was ruthless, bro. He just lied, cheated, and stealed his whole way to the top, bro.
I seen a meme just earlier today. It was showing all of them like Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, and I forget Elon. And it was when they were like in their 20s and they had like this crazy wealth already. It was like, give up. it's too late already.
You're right. Yeah.
Like,
If you ain't like this young. Yeah.
Uh,
So Andrew Tate, man, being the populist kind of leader, maybe like the Trump of the UK, man, I think that's pretty interesting. And that goes under the category of a whole new world for today's show, man.
a
God
whole
bless.
new world.
We're in like a very different world, man. Because we got like what is it? The Zuckerberg man doing Zuckerberg's doing the flip flop where he's now like, oh yeah, dude. He's trying to play victim. So he comes out like day after last show and he comes out and puts out an official video that's like, so we're going to get rid of fact checking because, like, oh yeah, that shit was like really not good. And like, it would block a whole bunch of stuff that like maybe it was true, like, or like, maybe it's just somebody's opinion. So we're going to do like community notes, like X and stuff like that. And then now he's getting blasted from both sides, man. Because
Yeah,
like
and
Whoopi Goldberg and the views melting down. Since when was fact checking bad? And then the other one's like, since Donald Trump got elected. And they're like,
just cue the indoctrination of thought process. I love how because they show Mark Zuckerberg for
Recent
a few
elections.
years back when he was testifying in front of Congress, and then they showed like what he looks like going on Joe Rogan's podcast. And he's
Yeah.
like totally different in the manlyhood
Yeah.
aspect of things, like, and you see what's been happening in the change of the company. It's like, oh, imagine that. Culture is what carries a whole lot of how we live our life.
Very interesting, right? Because now he's
So you
all
change the culture, you change like a country, the people, which is why we need to be aware of certain conspiracy psyops back in the day.
because he's all like into jiu-jitsu now and blah blah. He's like a bro.
Yeah. Like the warfare hasn't been just blowing and shooting people up. It has been psychological and in our society.
And don't forget, he his platform, right? Like, oh, he's the head CEO leader man who started it all, but doesn't actually control everything because of how huge it is, right? So part of his victimhood here is saying that, oh, their systems that they'd put in place just kind of got out of control. Like, oh, they had these systems in place to like try and prevent, false information, and they weren't too strong. And then, oh, the Biden administration started calling his employees and screaming and swearing at them. So then they kind of started turning the dial up on the system, and then the system got very out of
I
control.
want to know, they must have got all their employees either from New York and Chicago or one of the two.
Or a bunch of ninnies, man, because they couldn't like, put up with the like, some limp-wristed
You just
Biden
call
administration
somebody up,
calling
start
them like.
swearing at them. Would they get their people from Xbox lobbies?
But let's not forget, his system is the one that would shroud and say fact check false when you would post about the COVID vaccine, maybe possibly like, altering DNA or something. And then his video leaks out where he's talking to his private team saying, yeah, I don't know about the vaccines, like we don't know the long-term effects of like DNA manipulation and mRNA manipulation. So like he believed that. And then what's wild is so like, hey, YouTube, don't sue us, bro, or like don't suspend the show like you suspended our first live show on YouTube. Yeah, we're not spreading any kind of misinformation or misguided kind of like health concerns here. We don't recommend that anybody does anything because according to YouTube, we're not allowed to give any ideas or recommendations based on our factoids of information. So everybody consult your own doctor and physician to make the right health choices for you. However, YouTube, we do know undamnably that there is now a report out of Japan that says the vehicle used in the vaccine of E. coli has altered the human DNA, which the definition is mutation in science, and mutations lead to cancer. So we don't know anything and we don't recommend anything, YouTube. However, I can't get on board with the like everybody who's flipping on Mark Zuckerberg changed his mind, so now he's a good guy, and let's all go back to Facebook. It's great now. Yeah, nah, dude, like not yet at least, bro. Maybe it's altruistic. Maybe he did wake up. Maybe he's a autistic nerd that just was in a nerd hole and didn't know what to do for himself. And
I mean,
now that the culture
you're
changed,
young, you can get pressured in a lot of different places, a lot of different ways,
he's our age,
especially
but
being
sure.
unexperienced. Well, I mean, back then when like he was living up, what, dude?
I'm talking like
living
4
up.
years ago, bro. Start of COVID and the fact-checking program on Facebook. I ain't talking long time ago.
Yeah. I guess he's still not that young at that point, but still had like a whole crazy different life
That's
than
like
what
saying you
we're
shouldn't have been
going
as smart
through.
as you was 4 years ago.
Dun, 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 dun.
So like, you know, like you was like a young but older dude here. You knew what was good about like 8-10 years ago, man. Come on now, Mr.
Yeah,
Zuckerberg. God dang.
I mean, he had a whole lot more money than I had access to.
So maybe he was just busy, you know.
Different problems, man. Different problems
Yeah,
that
he
we
just didn't-
haven't experienced.
He just didn't have the time to go into like, you know, the in-depth rabbit holes that we did, right?
No, I'm just like, I mean, it's just a different type of problem, man. We definitely didn't have the same type of problems he did. You know, they're similar, yes, but different. Same, but different
Now,
in a big way.
I guess, you know, he putting a fact check thing up is not as bad as Britain, you know, because over in Britain, Mr. Elon was highlighting this week that, you know, you can post a meme like this and actually go to literal jail. Like they can send you to prison now
Yeah.
in Britain for
Oh,
posting a meme.
and remember, I mean, when all the what was it, Arabs that started flying into Britain, literally, in like the streets were full
Yeah.
because they're coming over like that dense,
Yep.
and people were getting arrested and thrown in jail over like basically posting what they were seeing on social media, just posting about what was currently happening.
Trying to be a independent citizen journalist.
Yep. Which is scary to think about. That is why America is important, and this First Amendment of free speech.
And why these crazy magnanimous rich dudes taking shit over is kind of important too, bro. Because I mean,
yeah.
right now they seem like they're on my side, so I'm happy about it.
Right,
You
yeah.
know, but
Just so you know, I want to make sure you're aware we have one of the best coaches in the nation watching us live right now. Shout out to Coach D Money. I told you I'd send you that text.
What up, Coach? Oh, we got Trolley in the chat. What up, Trolley? I'm sorry I missed you.
Trolley's been in here and alive, yeah. We love Elon. We hate Elon.
Yeah, Paulie, I do hear you. Mr. Tate is
Always
actually a professional boxer or kickboxer. He's like
kickboxer.
Yeah, he's a professional kickboxer, so he might have a little bit of WWF influence. I agree. That he does have a good WWF delivery.
Yeah, he could definitely jump right into WWE.
Trolley, I
or
never
F or
want you
whatever
to
it is
fully
now,
believe we're
just
this
go
stupid,
along with it.
or you might stop showing up for the show. So I'm very glad to have you, Trolley. What up, Mr. Nil Tamir in the chat? Thanks for showing up. Make sure to keep Trolley in check. Don't agitate him. We don't need him to light any Cali forest fires or anything.
We only.
We can come back to Tate if you like, Trolley. We never avoid
bullying.
concepts. You know that here. Don't try and take the low road.
We always generally talk about what you want to, and then you deny that we talked about it.
Yeah, we talk about what you talk about. You're like, you're not even talking about it. And then we explain the truth to you, and then you're like, what about this other idea?
I can't blame you that much if you're just ADD squirreling like us. You know, you ask the question, then you scroll it off while we answered it for 5 minutes, and then you come back and you're like, you didn't talk about well,
yeah.
we did.
Trolley, what was the you know, the liberal hive mind upload this last week about the, you know, British Democrats all voting against starting an investigation into the child R word ring that is absolutely clearly being found to be 100% true and you know, hidden for decades now, so that they wouldn't have a negative, you know, publicity for the country? Because just like this meme explains right here, it would clear your name, right? Right?
You would hope.
Yeah, no wonder why they don't want to look into that whole kind of thing, man.
Just kind of like they didn't seem to want to look into this Diddy thing, because apparently they still hadn't even done the full investigation through his house and whatnot, and now it's been burned down. Allegedly, I have heard Diddy's house is one of the several
Diddy's house was in there?
celebrities. That's what I heard.
Just like Hunter Biden's house?
Just like so many. Oh man, Miles Teller's house also got burnt up.
Who's
I,
that?
he from Whiplash. You know the movie Whiplash.
Uh-huh.
The drummer,
Oh, okay, the
drummer
main
kid.
kid.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Which I'm not saying he might be part of the group. I'm just saying I brought his up because that was actually trash. I like him as an actor. I think he does a good job. But if he's part of any groups, I don't know. So if that's why you lost your house or not, if you're involved in any backdoor deals because of this, hopefully not, Miles. But we got our eyes on you, man. Yeah. There's all sorts of stuff about these dang fires.
Yeah, here's another one. But I said, but wait, if Facebook gets rid of fact checkers, how will we know that it's true about the British sexual assault gang being covered up by government?
Mm.
So this guy's like, I was put into a police car and completely taken away. So these fathers of the girls that they found out where the girls were that were being harmed by this gang went to go get their children, and the police arrested them.
That sounds like some Brit shit.
That's effed up,
Just
bro.
some non-American freedom shit. That's for sure. Either way,
Dude, it's not even like about freedom. It's about lawlessness, man. Like,
I'm gonna
what
say,
the F,
are they
bro?
communistic over there now? Did we not realize Britain's communist? I mean, the no
I
guns is a little.
mean,
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
we did leave there for a reason.
you can only. I wonder how strict it is for them to even buy knives.
They got a queen,
I
man.
know it's a little like crazy. I think even for that.
Well, so they have a knife killing problem, and then that's like the silly haha about them not having guns. It's like, well, you have a knife murder.
You go out old
problem.
style. You don't get to die easy. You gonna get all the hurt of getting stabbed and bleeding out.
I do think it's knives, not swords. So it is new school.
I mean, they had daggers back then. I mean, who knows? That there has been actually a lot of. I forgot what I was watching. If it was either here or over there, but machetes is actually one of the number one edged weapons in edged weapon assault,
I feel that,
and that is scary as shit to think about.
but
I've done knife fighting training, so I guess maybe that's a little more like why does
yeah.
like a whole machete? I mean, if they're trained with it. If they're not trained, it's not that big of a deal. But God,
Yeah,
I would not want to get hit with a machete, dude. Ouch.
Coach D points out one of the latest scandals on Elon Musk. It's now alleged that he is not actually the gamer he says he is with his high-level Diablo account. Allegedly, he's paying some ghost gamer to like game for him because
Ooh.
somebody crunched the numbers and was like, to be this kind of a level gamer, you'd have to be playing like 70, 80 hours a week or something, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, nah, bro, you just don't understand how smart Elon is. Okay, maybe.
Well, I mean,
don't know, dude.
also,
he's
how-
clearly not
how
playing the
many-
game that
I
much.
wouldn't be that surprised because we know how he sleeps and how he works. Like he be sleeping on the floor of the factory at Tesla, just like in a car seat and whatnot for like 2-4 hours to recharge. Sometimes he gets right back in it. He's not like doing stuff just like,
watched one
I
today.
don't feel like he really does a whole lot of golfing type, like just like relax, just not be involved. Like if he's doing something, it's productive something.
I just watched one today, and it's a 128-hour work week. He said he's up to.
Yeah, it's just nuts.
I believe it was like 128. But dude, this is a perfect Babylon B.
There's no
skit.
way he's not autistic with all that.
This is a great Babylon B skit. So it's like
His processor is multi-processing.
it starts out and it's like the headlines say Elon's not actually playing the game that gets him up to high Diablo. But little do they know, this is how Elon does meetings. And he's like, yes, come in. Tell me what you did today. What have you got done last week?
I could so see that.
That's not really good enough. Cindy, give me another one. Okay, what'd you do today? What was your last week like?
He's probably
No, dude, he's multitasking,
and
bro.
he's
He's
pro-
playing Diablo while
and
he's
he's
banging out those
probably
quarterly
like
reviews.
binaurally telling Grok to do things while he's doing all that. God.
Well, that's one of those movie reveals, bro. Like, it turns out he's had the neurochip for the last, like, 5 years. He experimented on himself technically illegally. and like he's been utilizing the chip, blah blah blah. Like,
Little
like
do they know,
yeah.
I am a human supercomputer.
They're like, he's not playing Diablo for real. While I'm sleeping, I'm actually have the neural chip play with my brain. So technically, I'm not playing Diablo, but really,
No, like
my brain
talking
and my
about
neural
that for
chip is
real
still-
though. Have you seen the implants that professional gamers are getting? And they say
No.
it's like literally having the aimbot.
Yeah.
They say it's almost like a literal brain implant, like aimbot form. They just like
there. That's crazy.
yeah, it's a real thing out
No
there,
way.
and some gamers have already done it.
Oh gosh, yeah, no.
What
yeah.
the shit, dude?
Well,
I
that's-
don't. That seems extreme. And first off, if it's like aimbot, how is this gonna, dude? Rules are gonna just be
Well, now you can't
as
test
humans,
for it on the
as
computer.
humans, the only way we have progressed in life has just always been pushing the rules,
Yep.
pushing the bend, flex, whatever we could do with the
Yep.
rules.
That's why I disagree with blood doping and crushing the whole like live strong, Armstrong thing. The biker dude, the bicyclist that was like big
I know
famous.
who you're talking about.
Yeah,
I'm
that-
just
that
not
whole
sure
thing was
what you're
bullshit,
talking
bro.
about with it. The,
Because
like,
we're just pushing the limits, bro. Blood doping. What's a little bit of blood doping? I'm just, like
What?
running some oxygen into my blood, bro. I ain't taking like big old drugs to be like pushing my kind of skills here, bro. I'm just, like cycling in some special blood, like.
I bet they'd hit the same lows as somebody on like some real drugs. Their oxygen runs out. Cindy, you better find the freaking oxygen, man. I'm weakened.
Yeah. Well, it does give it a bad name,
Like,
blood
calm
doping.
down.
Like we can't just call it like blood oxygen.
I need my oxygen, man.
And then I forget the number now because it's so far away, but it was like when they caught him blood doping, they were like, well, now everybody's getting tested. And they were like, shit, second place is doing it too.
Dude, what if
Shit,
somebody's
third
just
place,
Wim
fourth
Hof
place,
and real
fifth place,
good?
Sixth place. Oh, wait. They had to go down to like, I swear to goodness, it was like 20th, bro. They had to go down to like 22nd place before like somebody wasn't blood doping. So number 23 was like, woohoo!
Never did I
And then-
know finishing last I'd be first.
No.
with you.
He went home and said, see, kids, this is why I've been getting my ass kicked for the last 15 years. It pays off to just do things right and never cheat.
I was a winner this whole time. I just been getting cheated.
I tried to tell him,
I knew I've been a winner this whole time.
But
just
anyway,
like my mama told me.
blood doping might just be pushing it, man, because if you get like ocular implants, bro, we're not going to even be able to test for that ish.
It's like
You're
we're
just going to have to up
we're
the
just gonna
game.
have a whole bunch more like regulations and all sorts of arguments over what's allowed, not allowed.
Well, bro, when I get
Man.
that robot arm and I join the slap contest, man, the slap
Right,
championships,
right.
bro, you
Hey,
better.
Hey,
You
all
better
I,
get
all I know,
ready.
back to the Diablo thing though, to close in on that whole thing, we went in here and probably bunny trailed a little bit off a few times. I don't know. I think about the only way he can really thoroughly defend it is 1v1 me, bro. Like, I don't know what the map would be for Diablo, but 1v1 Russ, bro. So he just needs to call out like whoever's the best player right now or something. I bet if he was the best player, I mean, I know he's working, but if you were the best and that was like your game, there's no way you don't pick up the controller every once in a while and still play. Or at least be able to pick it up and get it back pretty quickly.
I agree.
Like once you get your ice legs under you,
Yeah.
I learned to skate when I was really young and it's almost more familiar than getting on a bike
Right.
for me.
Yeah.
And some people, it's like, an outer universe stepping on ice, like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm just like, this is home for me. I know exactly how to do that.
Especially if you start young, man. It gets all just baked into your noodle.
Right.
But
That muscle memory is a real thing.
so, those fires over in California that are going on, right?
Also, Elon, call him out 1v1. We want to see you play Diablo.
We see him while playing all the time. So those fires in California, right? Nobody could have possibly knew that they were like gonna happen, right? Like this totally just struck us out of
Definitely
nowhere.
not the insurance companies that pulled coverage of fires. What was it? 3 months or like
3-4 months, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So was his James Woods, his house got on fire. They cut his insurance 4 months ago.
Dude, I swear, insurance companies through this past at least 2 years, if you look,
They pulled flood before Helene.
they are, man, they should be playing some gambling stuff right
Well,
now
they got
because they're
quants.
winning.
They got quants, bro.
Or-
They got some quant people just scanning the statistics, bro.
Yeah.
And they were
yeah,
like, we've analyzed that there might be a storm coming here. And they're like, pull that insurance
yeah,
coverage.
yeah. It's not like insider info.
Yeah, it's definitely not weather modification, folks. I've heard about this. It's where they modify the weather. It's crazy.
You could almost, per se, have the weather on a schedule if you wanted.
I know a little bit about this because Uncle Trump was best friends with Nikola Tesla. Nikola Tesla made the first HARP machine, folks. It's pretty crazy. It's wild. He got radio signal modification systems that bounce off the ionosphere. It's pretty crazy, folks. But it modifies the weather, and it might be something that they use. I don't know. People tell me, YouTube, don't ban me, bro. I just heard it from somebody, but we do not condone any weather modification, much like we don't condone medical adversities and whatnot. So anyway,
Alleged information.
Trump kind of brought this up, I believe, in his presidency as well as on the actual Joe Rogan show. That he was talking to Newsum or Newscum, as some may call him, and he was telling the dude, he was there's Trump talking with his hands. He's on a podcast. He's sitting down, but he still's got the hands. But he was talking to this whole thing, and he was saying, he tried to tell the dude, you got to like do the raking, like they tell me I went over to, I think it was Sweden, I can't recall, but I went over there. They're a forest country, and what they do, they rake the broken down leaves and the debris that may catch on fire. And they said it's very good. So I said, well, this is probably what we should do here, like.
Yeah, dude, there was so much stuff that was wrong. One of the things being they had this whole, act that Newsom came up with for building a whole bunch of new water reservoirs in California, and because like they had record rains last year, but there's like no water in any of the reservoirs. So what happened to it? You know what I'm saying? Also, if years ago when they put this thing into act where they were supposed to have new reservoirs made, and not a single reservoir has been made. So again, red alert, money is
you don't even need to make
allocated
it if you
to
fill
this
up the
thing.
one that you emptied. Right?
I mean, they possibly could have used more than just that one, but either way,
Yeah,
that
but if
sure would have
you
helped
had
a
the
whole lot.
one filled up.
Yeah, it would have been a big help.
So here, let's listen to Trump talk about this on the Rogan podcast.
But let me give you one that you may not know,
Okay.
which I think you know everything actually as
That's
a
not
student
true.
as a student of yours. but water, in Los Angeles you can't get proper amounts of water,
Right.
and it's unbelievably expensive. And you might have a house in Beverly Hills, and they're actually thinking about rationing water. Could you believe it?
I could believe
And
it. I used to live there.
I was in the farm court country with some of the congressmen. We're driving up a highway, and I say, how come all this land is so barren? It's farmland, and it looked terrible. It was just brown and bad. I said, but there's always that little corner that's so green and beautiful. They said, we have no water. I said, do you have a drought? No, we don't have a drought. I said, why don't you have no water? Because the water isn't allowed to flow down. It's got a natural flow from Canada all the way up north of water, more water than they could ever use. And in order to protect a tiny little fish, the water up north gets routed into the
It's called the smelt fish, and it's like, like sardinish. It's like fits right in your hand.
Looks like a little minnow.
Which, like every little thing is important in the ecosystem, kind of, sort of, unless, like nature decides to make it go extinct. Kind of.
Yeah, like beavers damming up things and ruining the ecosystem downstream.
Right.
If the beavers are probably extinct, a couple species through their years, we're a lot more evolutionized and
Some people think there's
sophisticated than
a
beaver.
beaver problem, but I don't think there's a beaver problem,
We can
folks.
just do it and blame it on the beavers at this point.
Why can't we just let the beavers beave and beave how they will, folks? It's part of nature. They've been doing it for a very long time. People tell me it's natural.
Beavers sometimes, we get kicked out of our home from one and we have to find new stream. But you know what? We call it the beeve. Sometimes you got to beeve in life,
Yeah, man, you just gotta let the water flow, Coach D. I agree.
Hence, that was a cousin beaver of Trump and his weaving.
Yes.
That-
Yes.
I was gonna say how
There you go.
it was kind of a deep joke.
Like Trump weaves, we beeve. Deep
Yeah.
cut, man.
Pacific
But I'm
Ocean.
here for the
Millions
dance.
and millions of gallons of water gets poured. You got to see this. We're driving up, and I had never seen it before. It's like Iowa. It's the most fertile land. Iowa's blessed with great land. Idaho for a potato, right?
Yeah.
But they're just, by the way, you know, some land is good for a potato, some land is good for corn. It's the craziest thing. I love the farm.
You know the center of California was a giant lake?
They have so much water.
Do you ever see what it looks like before they
No,
rerouted
I never
it?
saw that,
The
no.
center of California, like, what is it, 200 years ago? How long ago did they do that, Jamie? The center.
So they're blocking the water to like try and save this fish thing, and then like all this like environmental kind of shit, bro. It's really absolutely bonkers. So they're just pouring fresh water into the ocean and blowing it all away, bro. And then like they have no water down here in California, man.
Perfect add into that. So did you hear about how Oregon sent like 80 fire trucks of their own? They said, we'll risk our stuff, you know, if anything happens. We're going to send them off to help you for now. So all these extra fire trucks are offering a helping hand into California. You know what California did?
What they did in like North Carolina, kicked them out.
They had to emission test
Lord.
all the trucks coming in first.
Hold on, sir. I need to put my
And
mouth
guess
on your
what?
exhaust pipe.
None of them passed. And so they said, nope, you have to go home.
That's
They
crazy.
denied them because of emissions.
Well, that's like a clever way
While
to kick people
the
out.
sky is getting filled with more emissions than those trucks could produce in their entire lifetime. It make sense. Like the they are so what would Elon call it? Inefficient and possibly irrelevant. Gavin and the mayor both need to resign like yesterday.
I know, right? Yeah.
'Cause
I think we get into that
a
one
whole
too.
bunch of this is all just because of their policy. too.
The
They won't clean up the dry brush in there, so because the whole like hippy dippy, they're like, oh, it's harming the environment. But they're leaving dry, flammable material everywhere, you know, to help the environment. When you could just allocate all these funds that go to these things that doesn't actually go anywhere, and have people actually then like go clean it, like do it in a good way. There's good ways to do it. You don't
Which-
have to pull a bulldozer through there and wreck the entire ecosystem while you do it. No, that's why you pay people that are like jobless. Oh, maybe like take all your homeless people and give them jobs, like picking up sticks in the woods, what
Yeah,
they like
no
already
shit.
do.
Yeah.
Whoa.
We'll give you 5 cents for every stick. Gonna get it,
Yeah,
Johnny. Like,
yeah,
God
you,
dang.
you never seen people
Um,
pick up sticks so fast and then go try to hit up their dealer and take a token, come right back.
So if you want your question answered of like make it make sense, right?
Oh.
You got to go to Alex Jones because Alex Jones is going to tell you that the Los Angeles fires are part of a larger globalist plot to wage economic warfare and deindustrialize the United States, folks.
You guys wouldn't even believe it. My voice has always been like this. This wasn't even just from being around the fires and the smoke.
Yeah. Even baby Alex Jones. But here, check this one out.
And you look at what's happening in Los Angeles right now, at every level, at every step of the way, this is not mismanagement. This is perfect administrative,
On purpose, as Mr. Tate would say.
economic, industrial sabotage. This is murder. This is destruction. This is scorched earth. This is siege by design. So this is a designed economic warfare system that they've been developing really since the 50s in the globalist publications and battle plans that we've made films about, written books about, covered ad nauseum here.
And since I took YouTube training today, because they said we are naughty on that first episode, we're allowed to cover a news piece like here, Mr. Alex Jones, but we just got to make sure to tell you that we don't agree with him at all. And like, whatever the YouTube truth is, that's the truth, because his truth is not the truth. So help YouTube the gods. Like, so we don't think it's a gigantic globalist plot to deindustrialize the United States.
It
This
does-
is just us covering a news piece of someone that might think that. I
Yeah.
don't know why they would think.
I haven't happened to also see how, the smart city agenda wants to put a smart city by 2028. Just so happens about in that area, exactly, and that what was it for the what was it, under speed high speed train,
But
where they want to do a whole bunch of other type of development. It will happen to just burn in those areas. A few celebrities' houses of upcoming cases seem to have burned up. Oh, you know what's a shame, man? The head of BLM, what's her face, that stole
freeze coolers.
two of her 3 mansions burned up in there. I mean, I would like to
That
say
one I
that's a
don't really feel
win,
bad about.
except
like-
she's got that insured, and they're just getting now they have just like a lump sum of cash
Like,
from it.
all
So
these
it's like,
insurance companies
they're
pulled
not
out,
they're
though.
not losing really.
And it's probably
Oh,
not covered like the other ones.
I doubt it.
Well, we'll get
man.
to the answer.
Like,
I have the answer for who's paying for
hopefully,
it. We'll get
but,
there. So
like karma hit, but karma didn't fully,
So
make
this is the big one that's going to be
Yeah.
like not covered by the mainstream news, folks. Is the big speculation here is that they've already got an agenda for Smart LA, which is going to be one of their smart cities, which is a deep state globalist WEF agenda to bring these 15-minute cities or smart cities to places where, man, it all sounds great with smoke and mirrors.
all you
and
have to
shit,
do is
but-
look into how China works with their social credit score system.
Well, yeah, right, and they're going to try and get it in with the convenience. Everything's within 15 minutes. But
So what
the
I'm
fine
saying
print
is this
you can't
exactly
leave-
what the communists have their citizens doing.
right, and then the fine print is you can't really leave that 15-minute area that you're zoned to.
Nope. Not without having a violation against you, which could
Well,
be all
right.
sorts of things: a ding on your social score,
getting-
a fine of actual money out of your digital account, or
And
actual jail time, straight to jail, possibly. You never know.
And this is the one that the fact checkers, the big the YouTube tech censorship machine is going to be like, no, that's not true. And it's like, yeah, no, it's totally true. Like, you can look it up, man. 15-minute cities are real. The WEF talks about it, blah, blah, blah. And then, now it's just speculative that, Maui was, declared to be the first place they were going to put a 15-minute city. And, things caught on fire where the residents didn't want to give up their land for the past 10, 20, 30 years. And then over here, I mean, this is kind of prime real estate. And, everybody that's not a multimillionaire, like the celebrities, like the regular folk of LA that got their homes burnt down, a lot of people are, little bit negative speculation. A lot of people are assuming they're not going to even be able to rebuild their home because of permitting, bro. Like, the cities are going to be like wacko on the permit
also,
thing.
like, inspirational story. There was this old guy, dude. He was probably in his 70s. He was out there with a hose, kept his house alive. Everything else burned around him. He kept his house good
That's epic.
by just spraying it down, keeping it wet with his garden hose. Because he was thinking, this is like basically all I have. And if it burns down, he was saying all these different points on how he wouldn't be able to be able to rebuild it,
Right.
just based on how much taxes are alone. What he just would not
Right.
be able to rebuild it and have it the way it's been.
Yeah.
And so he did his best. He kept it going.
Get out. That's awesome.
Yeah, his house is still there. Everything else around was smoldered and
I'll replace
burnt
the siding.
basically
I'm
down
gonna
to
make
the
this
ground.
thing soaked.
Yep. But have you seen the images of there's like there's one where there's a bunch of burnt down houses, on the street, but it must have been trash day. There's a bunch of trash cans out by the street that happen to be blue and not burnt down. Same smells of Maui all over again. Also, there was satellite footage of 3 different points where fires all started up at the same time, kind of like the same thing that happened with the Canada fires up
Right.
north, where there was like the 8 different points that all just simultaneously
17.
17 simultaneous light points.
Yeah, dude,
Kind of it. Man,
That's the other one they're trying to
nature's
say.
neat.
That's the other one they're trying to say, like,
'Cause
oh,
it's
you're
totally natural.
you're a tinfoil, crazy person and fact check false, blah blah blah. And it's like, oh, those weren't actually in the area where the fires are. But then I've seen a bunch of the alternate news people saying like, yeah, no, they were right there. They were right there. There's three sections that light on fire all simultaneously at the exact same time on satellite view. And it's like, dude, come on. And we haven't even got into the speculation / 100% verified, arsonry that's starting all these fires, or some of them. So maybe some of them are natural, but now there seem to be bad people / possibly instigators that are going around and taking advantage of this and just like lighting things on fire, bro.
They were closet arsonists until this
Yeah,
happened. They're like,
right.
oh, I could play a little bit and probably not get caught because everything's on fire.
Now's
Sweet.
our time, Billy Bob. Get out there and start those fires.
I can get my rocks off lighting things on fire.
Like, Lord Almighty.
That's weird.
Elon Musk responds to Alex Jones' claim that the Democratic deep state is responsible for the catastrophic fires in Los Angeles. Number one, Governor Newscum has blocked the release of desperately needed water from the mountain reservoirs to fight this historic inferno. So there's even a place that we could just get the water right now. But then, like, he didn't. Like, there's news coverage where
almost like Nancy Pelosi holding back the National Guard on January 6th
to create an event, right?
Yeah.
And so I saw news reports where there was a anchor talking to somebody, and they're like, "There's no water in the fire hydrants," and the guy's like, "That's what we're done talking to them now." And like, by the way, that we could not confirm that there were no water in the fire hydrants. Back to you. And she was like, "Oh, yeah, okay. So, by the way, yeah, no, I have 100% heard from several people that there's no water in the fire hydrants." It was like, oh, wow. Yeah, the mainstream media was really torn on that one right there, bro. That guy was like, "Oh, no, I know how to cover this. I'll just make a lie up that sounds like the message."
I have been trained to do this. I will do as I was trained.
And then the other lady probably got fired because she got up and was like, "Yeah, nah, bro, no. There's literally firefighters going to, like, I'm going to plug into the fire hydrant and take this out."
I'm doing what was known as journalism back in the day, before
and the hydrant's empty.
Obama 2013, making propaganda legal.
For 20 years, Democrats have blocked attempts to upkeep fire mitigation systems and clear the brush in critical areas. And they're not making the, the firewalls or whatever, the break points. Shit, I forget what the word was. Insurance companies now confess to pulling the fire policies of hundreds of thousands of homes in the L.A. area. Biden administration enacted a no-fly zone over L.A., blocking state and local firefighter aircrafts from, like, dropping flame retardant. Like, drive a freaking helicopter over there and bop, knock out the fire. Yeah, can't do that.
Yeah, that's there's all this environment law bullcrap that is preventing anybody from doing anything.
The Palisades, the hardest hit neighborhood, is slated to be the site of the 2028 Olympics and had already been designated to be transformed into the model smart city. So like, hey, they'd probably be able to do that by 2028, right? It's only 2025. The new DEI fire chief. Oh man, I gotta find that one. I don't even think it's worth it. But the new DEI fire chief, which like we can only speculative, estimate that the woman that might be a lesbian was a DEI hire. We can neither confirm nor deny.
Mm-hmm.
However, she's in an advertisement piece or like some newsreel, and she's like, yeah. And then people say like, I might not even be able to carry like a husband out of a fire. And you know what I say to them? Well, he's the one that got himself in that place in the first place. And you're like, what? What?
Great mentality.
That's supposed to be a firefighter chief? So that firefighter chief told the national press, oh, yeah. That's what I was just talking about. Main job. Oh, no. Told her that her main job was not fighting fires, but it was actually enforcing diversity quotas, not fighting the fires, providing disaster assistance. She also supported a $17.5 million cut to the fire department budget, which was only like a week or 3 ago. So that didn't cause this failure to react to fighting the fires. But the concepts are there, right? Mayor Bass. So the mayor, who happened to be going out of country, heading over to, where was it? I forget. But she was heading over to Africa when this all happened. And everybody's talking shit at her because, like, we kind of knew that this thing was all going to happen. Like, people kind of had an idea that things were going to catch on fire, and she could have canceled her trip, but she didn't.
Yeah.
So she had to, like, fly back and when this was all, like, going on or whatever.
She was chilling somewhere. like the meme with the dog sitting on the chair in the house while it's on fire.
Right.
Like, this is fine.
And so the Sky News caught up with her and was trying to do, like camera microphone in the face and was like, "What do you have to say to the LA people?" Like, and she literally like robot, wacko, sociopath, stone cold, didn't say a word and ignored him. And he kept doing the like, Madam Mayor,
That's
what are you
exactly
gonna say?
how the female cop that had her that everybody's saying she perjured herself in
Yup.
the Floyd case.
Yup.
Yeah, same thing. Somebody went like, cops are saying 14 cops are saying you lied in your testimony. What do you think about that? He tried doing the fast beep beep, RFID at the door, getting in and like trying to let and it like grabbed her card, threw it back out. She had to like go back out, grab the
That's
card. And so
awesome.
she's double down in on her with the questions. She had to
That's
go let herself in
hilarious.
again. But yeah, just did the whole stone cold ignore.
And so why are
Like,
they saying that she
yeah.
perjured herself? Do you remember that?
Because she was saying the way he was kneeling on his neck was not how they were trained.
Never
and
seen that before.
Yeah, except there's photos of her doing it to
10
people.
years prior.
Yeah.
The
Oops daisies.
internet found photos of her, dude.
Picture wasn't real. Picture was real. Here's a pic.
Yeah, dude. And then finally, over the last 2 years, the LA City Council has diverted a large portion of the firefighting budget and surplus to, you guessed it, gear to Ukraine. So we're giving away firefighting money to Ukraine. That sounds pretty ignorant if you ask me.
Man, they need every last little like bit of our savings, don't they?
Absolutely insanity, bro. And then so now they're saying that the Fed is going to
Like, that should be a
fund this whole
that should be a
thing.
federal thing, but the state is trying to do it. Wow. California is really inefficient with their money.
Yeah, bro. So the Fed is going to give them 100% of the money. So that's what I was talking about of where the money is coming from, bro. They're going to give them 100% of the money where Helene victims were getting $750 and they were told, "Oh, FEMA's just out of money, guys. Sorry."
Biden was really fast to go in and say that they were going to 100% fund it too,
Right?
which is weird.
Because that's
I
their
don't-
Democrats, bro.
Did that
Screw the Trump supporters
did
and,
that
and Helene.
happen? Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Did that happen with the flood victims?
Right.
Nope.
No, they gave him $750 and then said FEMA's just out of money, bro. But oh, don't worry, California.
California, my baby of
Bro.
super in my pocket, deep state. You have so many of our electoral votes. We will definitely get you to do whatever.
Well, hey, Jack,
That's all it
they call
is.
it California. Of course I'd give them the money.
They ain't friends.
They're
It's
like
just a
communists.
give and take relationship.
Like us. They got all the illegal votes. Of course I'm going to give them the money.
Duh.
Then somebody said that I don't got the power to do it. I said, go ahead. Call me up.
Because I'm getting all their votes the next time I run.
Absolutely insane, folks. So
Oh, wait.
one might say that a logical
not the
person would
president.
agree with wacko nut job Alex Jones, but I bet you YouTube doesn't agree. So I can't wait to see how they say we were naughty during this episode.
Yeah,
So make
what-
sure to keep hanging out here on Rumble. If you're on the YouTube and you happen to stumble across us, come on over to Rumble, man. We only threw it up on YouTube to maybe snag a few people before the absolute insane YouTube tech conglomerate deep state system shuts us down there. So, while it's up, come on over to Rumble.
Just a non-American acting company, that's for sure.
If you're on X, make sure to drop a comment and say hello. If you're over on X, maybe we'll talk to the X people more often. But otherwise, we just love our Rumble live chat folks over here. We got the Nil Tamir, we got the Wilkins Sane hanging out, we got Trolley in the chat.
Yeah,
I hope
Crowley
everyone's having a nice
Crowley was
night
trying
here.
to say I was wrong earlier, but he can't really state about what.
Trolley's not good at articulating, man, so you got to bear with him. He's a bit handicapped, but
He
that's
might not
okay.
have understood some humor, or he's just not, aware of certain things, or he has a huge bias behind him, which is generally the main thing of it.
Coach D is right. They are going to likely, allegedly build back better and strong with the whole new rail line.
The whole new rail line and the smart city and everything.
Yeah, it's going to be so much better, they say.
They're just smart citying it so they can't have that app show where there's poop everywhere.
Yeah, what was
That's all
easily
it is.
debunked, Trolley? If it's so easy, you should be able to articulate it very easy, buddy. Wrong, you're
Well,
just wrong. I'm a bigot, Dan. You're wrong. You're totally wrong.
Well,
yeah.
he just said, I am a pussy. That's what it is.
Well, we don't need to
Well,
always
that-
repeat what he says, but
That doesn't seem to be correct. Because you're always the one being a warrior, making threats, never doing anything about it.
again, we don't really care about your name calling, Trolley. That's kind of juvenile. But if you had some kind of an idea of how you would easily debunk something he said, maybe you could bring some kind of, substance to the chat. But other than that, man, sound off in the chat, drown out Droney because he seems like he's off his game tonight.
He's just projecting his mother's, certain part of wanting me. So that's
Anyway,
all
we
it is.
now have video evidence of criminal arsonists lighting fires all over LA. So I'm not sure why Bernie Sanders is still blaming climate change. Now maybe climate change was like, like some kind of a starter of this, like a kindling or something. But this one's from Andrew Huberman. So this just happens to be a genuine video of his because Andrew Huberman is just a neuroscience professor, man.
And he just happened to actually be there. Wow.
And so he lives there, I believe?
Good for him.
But he happened to catch on video people lighting fires in otherwise non-burning urban areas in LA. Saw this happen firsthand at 302 Pico in Santa Monica. Called it in, and fire department and police responded. Stay safe, call in, blah, 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 ASAP. Also, good friend of the show, Henry Winkler, he also called in and said he saw somebody lighting stuff on fire.
Winkler, right?
Yeah, good old the
Sprinkler.
Fonz,
If Winkler could have been there with a sprinkler, might not happen.
Hey, look.
Oh, I'm so sensitive.
They made climate change.
Oh. Keep projecting, buddy. Keep projecting.
Here's that video of the three fires starting at the same time. I mean, like, what's the fact check on this one, man?
And if it's like there was an accidental solar flare, well, whoever has their equipment up there accidentally solar flaring all that should.
Well, this is what's got
they
people
got
saying
some-
direct energy weapon again, Like
right,
that's
and
how
I'm trying to
only
devil's advocate it,
They would
like
start
that'd
all
be
at
a
once. As like
maybe
a-
weird other possible way of it happening.
Right. So devil's advocate for me was like, we don't know what's going on underground. Like, what if what if a geyser went off and 3 holes in the surface when they kind of pop off all at the same time?
Right, yeah. You'd think. I think they'd all get found in a McDonald's hundreds of miles away just by buying a hash brown.
You're right. Like Linguini? Mr. Luigi the loser man?
So easily triggered. It took, what was it? Oh, like over an hour while you get triggered the instant somebody sends a chat against you in the chat.
Yeah, but he wouldn't know what that's like because he doesn't have a chat.
Well, when he gets to come to our chat.
Good honorable mention. Biden's rewrite of Title IX did not go through. It has been stopped. So thank goodness. What are your thoughts about that one? Miss Riley Gaines was pointing this one out today. She's a good one to follow over on the X. We love supporting people, building a better news feed. So if you're on the X, make sure to follow the Riley Gaines. If you follow me at the Mass Stash, at Mass Stash, 3 S's in a row, form the whole word, you'll see things like this. I post things all through the week, and we go over them here on the show, folks. So make sure to tune in for the highlights. Because this is a huge win for girls and women, she says. So the federal court shut it all down, man. Screw Joe Biden and their complete bastardization of the Title IX trying to save women's rights.
That whole feminism movement that was started by a Russian op. Still getting worked, still today.
Yeah, this one was from our good friend of the show, Mr. Benny Johnson. Make sure to follow him over on the YouTube.
What's the intro? You know,
probably
it's gonna
got a
be
banger
good.
intro, yeah.
Always is.
The AI stuff is getting real crazy, bro. The AI video. Uh-oh. Is this how the fire started?
There's meth lab. but they were gonna end it with
I don't like
Hunter going, "Dad, I messed up." Him going, "It's okay, son. I have pardoned you
Americans treated as third-class citizens.
for everything."
As I search the greater
But this is him
internet,
going over some of the
I
arsonists
know
starting
I'm
fires,
starting to
which,
notice
you know,
that
we
people of
can't
California are
confirm or
posting
deny that, like, the
random
entire
fires that clearly have
origination of all the
accelerants on
fires are
them. Here's a
arsonists.
dumpster
But
that's
it's a
burning next to a
non-debatable
power line,
fact that there
next to a
are
wooden power line.
arsonists starting fires now. Like, that's just non-debatable, not like a fact-checkable, like, fact-check true.
Arsonists, possibly
Arsonists.
Antifa, you know.
I think we'll get to the actual post later, but just to like fit it in now, one of them got caught, and it turns out they're a criminal alien that has a criminal arson history in the United States from 2016, and then re-entered America in 2020 or 2021.
2016, huh? What was happening in that year that, you know, there was fires being started in places?
And that's when he got caught and then sent back.
It almost sounds like they hired him. The Dems paid an illegal migrant
You're
to
making a connections here,
come
but
in and set things on fire at certain protests, and now
we don't know if he was at
he
that
came
protest,
back.
but that's something you should look into before we make all these kind of crazy allegations.
I'm just saying, it sounds quite fitting. So
Something to look into.
there's a lot of possibility, a lot
Something
of
to look into.
possible coincidences that could have
Some to
happened.
alternate or independent journalists.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, there's clearly arson, non-debatable right there. I'll tell you that one. Crazy. Good friend of the show, Mr. Benny Johnson. Good show to follow. Get your news tidbits.
Yeah, and some good humor at the beginning of all of them, midway through. They could do some good editing. Their editing guy.
This
is
one's pretty
fire.
quick. So I don't know if everyone in the chat, everyone watching is a, soft or hardcore Christian, but either way, I'm like somewhere in the middle. I'm a mid-level Christian person, right? I believe
Can't
in
say
the God.
anybody's got zero if you grew up in America.
I like the Jesus story.
Nowadays, I'm not sure, but like when we were going to school, it was under when they,
what does everybody think? Should you listen
Nation
to a
under God.
woman that wears an upside down cross?
I mean, there's like some misinformation on that, I believe, but either way, more than likely,
I ain't never seen one Christian wear an upside down cross, son.
no Orthodox Christian, anyways. Yeah.
Very unorthodox Christian? You mean like a Satanist?
Oh, I guess what I say there's some when you start looking into the actual like thing of it being upside down.
I don't think it's like the American flag, bro. It doesn't mean we need help. But I mean, maybe someone's trying to spin that?
That's like it's a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
It's a whole rabbit hole.
I've gone briefly down it, and I was like, nah, this is dumb. It's not good.
It's basically Fugazi years, trying to Fugazi some Fugazi years.
I kind of feel like that, dude.
Yeah.
Like a, what is it, controlled opposition kind of thingy. But, it'd be a little bit bigoted to not listen to her with an upside down cross. However, it does make me kind of question the bullshit that she would be
It should throw up a
saying.
possible variable in the equation.
And then when she does things or doesn't do things that saves humans' lives, it kind of makes me concerned again, like
Kind of like we're good with vaccines. We could reduce, by 15%.
I don't know. It's kind of like, like if somebody's like waving a knife and yelling at you and you're like, yell and see what's going on.
I am in no danger.
So SCOTUS actually rejected the appeal to Mr. Donald Trump's sentencing being canceled, which they obviously attempted to appeal here, which is a little bit crazy in our opinion. We don't believe that Mr. Donald Trump did much anything here to have some kind of a felony that he falsifies business records, right?
I can't. Somebody, I should have tagged it up on the locals, but I didn't. Shame on me. I seen a clip where I forgot who it was, but she was talking about how they just dropped his criminal charges of was it? I can't remember if she said laundering or just the misuse of business funds to do this and that. It's like, well, lady, the court just said that was not real, and here you are on a place with a good presence of people, and you are saying what they said is not true. They just ruled it. What does that mean? You could get brought up for defamation.
Yep.
Not very smart they are.
No, not very.
Just emotionally opinionated.
Right. I mean, when you let your emotions kind of like, take over, and
Generally, that's how you go to jail.
also
You do
how-
things that end you up in jail.
It's also how you vote Democrat.
That's also how you end up in jail.
So
If it was all Democrats ruling, everybody would be in jail.
right now,
It'd be one big jail.
they're going to sentence him because then it allows them to actually officially call them a felon, because otherwise it's like defamation. But now if they actually make him a felon, they can say it all through his presidency. But there's still, if he appeals the case successfully, then the sentencing is then voided out, and then he's no longer a felon again. So this is the silly game of legalese that they're playing. So quick little update. SCOTUS actually did a boo-boo here, and 2 of our people voted against helping out the logic and actual justice system, in my humble opinion. So we're not happy with those 2 SCOTUS members right now. But anyway,
Is what it is.
if you didn't know how lasers work, this is allegedly how a direct energy weapon may actually work. And like, no one knows if anybody would ever use direct energy weapons to start forest fires, but I guess like they're real. And this is like a tiny little gun.
I mean, oh yeah, dude. There's a guy that actually has a laser in his he had to his garage is for his laser.
Yeah.
And it is like, I'm sure when he turns it on, military gets a notification like on their radar. It's like, Tony turned the laser on again. Anything to worry about? Any new info? No? Okay.
This is what's crazy about the whole argument of DEWs is like, dude, they're 100% real. And they're 100% used by our military. Now, what we just don't want to believe is that they would use them on ourselves, bro. Like they would use them on our own soil.
Oh, totally not like
Like,
how they
golly.
tested Agent Orange on people in California way back in the
Right.
day with Operation Agent Orange.
Right. So that's what's,
Government using its own tech on its own people, never.
well, just like,
All
one might
alleged.
say that, the schmovid schmishmeen might have been like a gigantic experiment on everybody.
And the scary thing is, have you heard how there's something going around in China now, and they're already like trying to
oh yeah, they
hoard
lock down
people,
stuff,
and
yeah.
and apparently it's a much more lethal. It's like a 43% or something like that.
That's what I said since day one, bro.
Oh.
COVID wasn't going to hurt a lot of people. We're going to get all like, figured out it was bullshit. Then they're going to come out with the next one that actually does kill people. And everybody's going to be like, not this time. That last one was BS. So I'm going to go crazy. Like, not cautious at all. And then it actually is going to harm a bunch of people.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, the first one harmed a bunch of people, but it'll harm like
Way.
vastly larger amount of people.
Yeah. Hey, like, you guys thought the Depression was hard. Welcome the next Black Plague.
Here's the live research portion of this week's show. I thought this could maybe be fun. Let's just do this in real time. So my prompt here is, who is Warner von Braun, and what book did he write about Mars?
Warner von Braun.
So, does anybody know who Warner von Braun is?
Let's update the people.
So Warner von Braun is one of the German-born rocket scientists, is most known for the significant contributions to the American space program, including the development of Saturn V rocket that sent humans to the moon. He wrote a book titled The Mars Project, which detailed the concept for a manned mission to Mars, considered a classic work on space travel. So this dude is one of the dudes that allegedly, like going more into the like rabbit hole on him, right? He knows all about the like alien technology and like the gravitational field, like motion that they have in these vehicles allegedly and stuff.
Yeah.
And he actually wrote this book about going to Mars and having a whole Mars project, and a man named Elon being the guy that puts everybody on Mars. So it's kind of like the old Barron Trump book situation.
I was gonna say another one of these.
So he's just a Nostradamus, bro, or like Elon was like, wait, that's my name. Wait, I think I know what I should do. This is my calling. I'm going to start a space rocket company one day, and I'm going to bring us to Mars. So like, did little Elon just read the book and like, like coincidence, man? Kind of kooky.
Or people are out there and just doing some stuff, some things that is CIA documents declassified, talking about, seeing some things, traveling around, projecting themselves. And it's like they might just know some stuff.
Yeah, and he was, one of those like, Hitler Nazi kind of guys. And we took him over on WW2 and was like, cool, you work for us now.
Yeah, 'cause Nazi scientists, good.
That's what's crazy about life, right? When you like, terrify everybody with death, they work really well. Not recommended.
I mean, I think a lot of them weren't too terrified of the death, but definitely the ones that were sucking were.
I mean, I think they're all terrified with death, bro, no matter what. Because all you got to do is just not perform, and then it's like, threaten them with death.
Yeah. So I'm saying, just, the ones that were sucking, they definitely were on edge. They're like, oh, crap. Is it the second or the third strike that I get shot? I don't know. They didn't specify.
That's what Russian roulette's for?
But the guy that has, like, the guy next to him failing twice as much as he is, he's just like, yep, I'm feeling pretty fine.
Yeah, so I don't know when the hell the book was written, but this is all back in the like 30s, 40s of WW2 days. Mars Project opens 1980. Political context of his fictional Mars expedition equaling fascinating after the United States of Earth. 1980? Was he just like a super old man? Because he would have probably been old as hay.
Whoa.
Or he was just real young in WW2?
That could be interesting, too. Oh, where did it go?
What's that?
Right there. Go up a little bit. Right there. While Von Braun reveals his tendency to naive technological utopian in the Martian sections, his opening displays a conservative anti-communism suited to the Cold War hysteria of 1949. His vision of World War III is, to put it plainly, a fantasy of a successful blitzkrieg against the Soviet Union. Which some might say you could it's not the Germans doing it right now, but there is a possible what they could be considered a blitzkrieg that we might be whipping up for. Oh, who are we fighting essentially right now? The Soviet Union?
Yeah, they're trying to say that, Putin is like
This guy
low-key
gonna call
Soviet
this
Union.
too? Like, ooh. Yeah, Putin is old. KGB.
Like, even modern day. Like,
yeah, because he was a
like,
KGB.
he still
colonel
is
and-
that, like.
Right.
No, he didn't disown it and say like, oh, I'm done with that and oh, it was bad.
Yeah.
No, he's sleeper
Yeah.
Soviet Union.
well,
He's about to be like, I'm
like-
Soviet Union.
Once KGB, always KGB.
I put the glasses on. They had no idea. Soviet Union.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's a possibility. But wow, what if this guy's right on predicting two things in the future? Definitely gonna be like, what the heck were you up to?
Tinfoil hatters, man. They believe that Warner von Braun's got some information because he's like space, NASA, aliens, bada bada.
I feel like if you know about the aliens, you've been allowed to also see classified info of just everything else. I feel like that's just the top of the line. So you end up knowing all the little secrets of things.
Which, speaking of taking your glasses off, our good friend James O'Keefe came up a couple times this week. Here he says, Mark Zuckerberg continues to walk a tightrope publicly framing Meta as a victim. I'm always impressed with the segues on this show.
Yeah. Oh man.
Mark Zuckerberg continues to walk a tightrope, publicly framing Meta as a victim of the Biden administration's pressure while making decisions that seem to strategically align with a different narrative. His portrayal of the government coercion doesn't add up, though, and we have the recordings to prove it. So we're staying tuned for some new drops from Mr. James O'Keefe here. I don't know if he's dropped it by now, but he was pointing out, so after Zuckerberg put out the the recording of him being like, "Oh, I'm gonna get rid of fact checking," and he had a 6-point plan of like, "Oh, he's gonna like turn Facebook around," kind of thingy, which was like an apology letter to everybody. He then went on Joe Rogan, coincidentally, "Hey man, you got to do your media tour, right?" And so he goes on Rogan, and then they did the whole long talk about it. And this was where he was like, "Wham, wham, me, we're the victim.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
they pressured us. Oh, I
Yeah,
kind of
they
didn't know
were
what
like
to do."
really mean, man.
Yeah, they were calling my employees, screaming and swearing at them. Oh, it's the Biden regime.
They were really coming after our company. It was a hard time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I listened to
Okay, did you?
most of it, not
Yeah,
all of it.
same. I cut out at the end. I was like, okay, that's good. So does he have anything new? Oh, this is a reminder of that Mark Zuckerberg actually saying that he believes that they might be modifying the DNA, and we don't have any studies on how that affects people. So for YouTube, here is the receipts.
We just don't know the long-term side effects of basically modifying people's DNA and RNA.
DNA is inherent in your own nucleus cell.
We just don't know the long-term side effects of basically modifying people.
Last week, Facebook announced they are, quote, expanding their efforts to remove false claims on Facebook and Instagram about COVID-19 vaccines. Let's take a look at Facebook's most updated COVID-19 vaccine policy. The real kicker is right here in the policy where Facebook says it would remove any content that, quote, claims the COVID-19 vaccine changes people's DNA.
Just like YouTube giving us a warning 2 weeks ago for alleged misinformation of medical situations, which I don't believe we did, but they denied the appeal. And here we are again. So are you going to do it again, YouTube? I don't understand why you would do that. We're just talking facts over here. Nobody's making recommendations. I don't think our guest on the show 2 weeks ago was making any kind of recommendations either. But sure, maybe your policy says that you're not supposed to say something, but, free speech and logic and, well, Mark Zuckerberg even believed this behind closed doors. So what do the YouTube people believe behind closed doors, even though their public policy states you're just not allowed to say these things, guys, until they're true?
Like, why don't you just let, evolution take over? People stupid enough to believe something that might be dumb and get them messed up. Well, that's kind of...
It's tricky, bro, because you should
that's
make
evolution
all drugs
sorting
legal
out.
and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. It's tricky, man.
I mean, there's definitely some sweethearts out there that could definitely get scammed in ways.
Right.
So, it's
Gotta
tricky.
have some
It's
regulation.
tricky,
Yeah.
but, man.
People protecting policies are pretty good, but, when it comes to, like, some free speech and stuff, hey, this was on my birthday in 2020. What do you know? Yeah, so that was like a good old throwback from when James O'Keefe was on the Project Veritas team that he completely started and then was ousted from. Pretty ridiculous. Do we have the other O'Keefe while we're on O'Keefe? Yeah, here's the other O'Keefe. What's more, which I think he should have said, what's more ridiculous, is even when he posts the own disguise photo, the deep state actors still send him direct messages. Worst counterintelligence ever by people who specialize in counterintelligence. If you're not familiar with this part of the show, folks, this is where we show you the old James O'Keefe pulls the wool over people's eye by simply putting on glasses. So at the end, it's like, you didn't know it was James O'Keefe. It really Clark Kent's them.
Whoa!
So he's
gla-
making a jab
The
where
glasses, he's a total different
he even
person.
posts his own disguise, and then they still fall for it. Now, in their defense, he did put tattoos on, so of course, he's in full disguise. He's got some tattoos on his hands
Some
here,
arm tats there, right at the bicep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
in the glasses, bro, and the blonde hair.
And
I don't know
he
who
grew,
that
he
man
grew
is.
out some stubble.
Oh God, that's hilarious, bro. Government is seriously broken, though, folks. Our
that's
counterintelligence
bad.
team is fooled by an investigative journalist. God. Which we always just bring up, Fang Fang, the Chinese spy that got Eric Swalwell, and the unnamed Chinese spy that got, Dianne Feinstein for 20 years and Eric Swalwell for 10 years. So those are just the ones we know of, man. Who knows how many
Right.
times our freaking, congressional, senatorial kind of official leaders are being, spied upon by the Chinese as,
Or paying off their sexual assault charges with our money.
Yeah.
Which we had to find out this past year.
I thought this one was kind of cool. So for whatever it's worth, if you like tariffs or not, or if you don't understand tariffs or not, you could utilize this method to kind of profit from it.
Saying the exact same thing. It's pretty amazing to look at Trump, and you're really an accomplished, smart guy, and you're saying this is like the best thing he could do.
It's the best thing. Actually, Alex, I think it's probably the only thing that we can do, because we are so far gone, not just in America, but globally with the debt spiral that we're seeing. It's going to impact the entire world. That is a function of just cheap fiat-based money creation. It creates debt, and it creates debt cycles, and then they have to jack up interest rates to slow down that inflation, and that hurts the economy, and then they go through these cycles all the time. What he is going to do, and I pray that he is successful, and I pray that he wins on all of these things, because tariffs are going to be so good, but here's the thing. It will bring higher prices, but if you're invested properly, it's going to be great for you. Right? You just have to understand the markets. For example, let's use silver, which is the market that I know best. Trump, there's 140 refineries that deposit into the COMEX depository, which is where gold and silver are stored, globally. 140 is what they receive, different hallmarks from these refineries. 45 of them come from tariff-impacted nations. So here's the thing. Let's just say silver's $30 an ounce, and it's coming from Mexico, and it's a 20% tariff. Well, that would make silver $36 an ounce to buy it when you add a 20% tariff on it, even though the spot price is 30. If you own the material that banks are going to have to be, getting rid of their short positions on, you can profit heavily from this tariff. You don't need to be a hedge fund. You don't need to be a large international money center bank. You can do that just by being an individual investor like you and I, with like $500 for silver or greater, right? That's our minimum. So because Trump is actually an economic genius in this plan, I think that no matter what kind of attacks the globalists bring on us, because they will not surrender, they're going to fight, they're going to have political retribution, economic warfare, currency wars. Trump is actually going to win. I can't poke a hole in his plan of how this is going to make America.
And let's talk about the alternate plan, which he's talked about, and it's a public plan. The globalists set up China after World War II, make the deal in the 70s, move all our industry there, give them all the rare earth minerals, but the middlemen, the globalists, use that to then deindustrialize the West, use that for political control. That's why Germany, all these countries want to crush their people. The left wants to crush us here so they can put us on universal basic income and only have big corporations operating. It's a vertical integration war on a diverse economy. Trump doing this destroys the globalists, destroys the communist Chinese, brings jobs and money back, and it's the only path we have left. And it's true, there will still be inflation, but it's inflation of, do you have jobs? Do you have a diversity economy? Do you have cheaper energy that can mitigate some of that? Or do you have inflation on top of no jobs? I mean, this is where we are now.
Right, dude. And then I definitely think that if we actually started reinvesting and creating higher intelligent and educated and skillful workers, it ends up working out kind of thing. And then what sucks is everybody wants some kind of an instantaneous fix, and it's like, it's not going to be like that, bro. And then they were talking about H-1Bs again, man, earlier today. And basically, if you didn't know, it's a whole lottery system. And so like people just put in their hat, and like if you get picked, you get picked. So utilizing the H-1B, hiring of foreign people for cheaper, is not a pick in the 1%. It's not like you just get to say like, oh, I'm going to get the 1%. And then these big tech companies will, use their power to over apply. And then they pick from there to try and find the 1% of the lottery. And so, what we need to do is just invest local, invest domestic. It's probably going to take another 10, 20 years to fix something like that. But in the meantime, I think it would be smart to be a savvy investor. We are not financial investors here, and we can't back up anything about Mr. Alex Jones, because oh no, YouTube might take us down. So we're just reporting the news here, folks. But look into that, do your own research. But investing in domestic plays like some of the silver might be a good idea. We don't know. Ask your financial investor.
I mean, just investing in American companies in general. Generally what helps out the economy.
And that's the whole concept of the tariffs, bro. Tariffs make things go up. Don't buy those things. And then the other things would be American. Because if you got something like a shoe that's, $50 and, like the Chinese product's $40 and Americans got to charge $50 that make it, you put a tariff on China that makes it $60. Now, guess what? You're buying American.
Mm-hmm.
Bang, bang. And you're losing $10, bro. Too bad, so sad, in my humble opinion. I'll just pay the American tax, bro. Pay that money to make our place better. Not doing that is what led us into this situation.
If it was a flat tax,
Per se, right?
Not how they're taxing it now.
The use of the word tax there wasn't literally. It's
right,
I'm going to pay the more than the original $40 when it was dirt cheap
I want to
sweatshop
pay a cut
labor.
to help out the country.
Right. I'll pay that additional money. That might even be a tax that we could agree with or something. Ooh, damn.
I like Andy's look on it. Just a flat tax, 10% across the board, everybody.
So
just doing a flat. Everybody's paying the same. So the rest of it, if you winning more, it's just because you're out there grinding, winning more.
Right.
Doesn't mean you need to be taxed more because you're winning more than the other guy.
Right.
Your share's still going to be the same amount of contribution. It's going to be a big contribution just because you have more money.
So somebody, I forget who it was. I thought I posted it, but maybe not. Just proposed a bill to get rid of like all of the crappy taxes, like income tax, property tax, or something like that. I don't know about property tax, but a bunch of taxes, and then instead do like 27% flat tax. And again, yeah, we would wish it be 10%, but 27% would be cheaper than the 50% that the regular people that don't have a corporation
it'd
are
be
paying.
a start in the right direction.
Like if you ask most educated financial people, the regular average person without a business is paying 50% in tax.
Yeah.
And then if you have a corporation, you're paying about 30%.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're a person that doesn't have a corporation yet, get one.
There's just so many ways they tax you through society. So if we could just not lose so much of our paycheck, that is just always a good start.
It would be what one may call ideal.
Almost literal more money in our pocket.
Absolutely, man. This one coming up here, where'd it go? Is from a good friend of the show, Miss Candace Owens. This is a spicy one, so YouTube don't ban me, bro. In mid-November, Miss Candace Owens made a contact with a journalist claiming to have a trove of evidence proving that Bridget Macron was born a man. In December, she flew out to Europe to examine the evidence and to interview the journalist for over 2 hours. Just 10 days after the initial correspondence, the sitting president, Emmanuel Macron, that Bridget Macron is the, quote, wife of, right, sent Candace a legal threat, which they demanded they do not publicize this news piece, right? So Macron sent her a legal threat. Oh, yeah, so that today she will be publicizing that letter, and it is their belief, Miss Candace Owens, that the legal threat was sent to intimidate them. One may assume, right? Ultimately, to try and stop them from publishing the explosive piece, which was due to the premiere on January 30th. They were going to drop it at the end of this month, so they're going to drop it early? she will not be intimidated, she says. So definitely go check out Miss Candace Owens because she's really big into that, like, Macron's wife is a freaking dude. Which, man, we cannot confirm nor deny any of that stuff, but God bless, man. Who the flip knows?
Well, she should look into a couple other ones. Get all feisty about them as well, AKA Big Mike, a couple others. That'd be great if she could do her thing with those too. Be awesome too.
Yeah, she shares the legal response to the tough guy Emmanuel Macron. Yeah. And then, yeah, Ian Carroll actually ratioed Elon, but then they started talking nice. It was pretty interesting. I think I got that one coming up too. Mr. Ian Carroll's got a good one. Oh yeah. So did you know climate change is not real? At least the rising sea levels is not real. 1620 Plymouth Rock at sea level. 1920 Plymouth Rock at sea level.
Huh. Look at that.
That's crazy. It's almost like it's going to take hundreds of years for this.
Thousands of years almost,
Maybe even thousands.
Maybe it never does.
Maybe it never even happen. I mean, eventually, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands.
I don't know.
But they need your money right now.
But wait, there's more. Billy Mays here, back from the dead.
Oh, that reminds me of that good old George Carlin joke where he's like, the thing about religion, is like God's all-knowing, all-seeing, all-loving, but he needs your money. Put it in the till. Like, I love everybody. I'm great. Oh, just can't handle money.
God's just a degenerate gambler. That's his only flaw.
That's the tricky thing about, religion or church or something like that. You still need funding to, stay alive and keep spreading the word, man. But bring money in, it gets tricky.
Yeah, it always gets tricky.
Oh, God. YouTube's definitely not going to like this one, man. Woo! We are making no medical recommendations here, folks. Go and talk to your doctor.
This is all entertainment data
and investigative research that you could do on your own. We are just reporting information we see that you should be skeptical of and look further into, because there might be more information on X about cancer being cured by ivermectin and fenbendazole. So if you know somebody with cancer, you might want to tell them to look into this and ask their physician if they find any validity in this, because we know that YouTube will definitely not find any validity in this, which is why the home base here on Rumble, the Freedom platform, is the place to be. So if you're on YouTube, join us on X or Rumble, because we probably won't be on YouTube very long. Because if you talk about fenbendazole curing all sorts of types of cancers, they're probably going to ban us, right? I mean, there's all these claims, man. Prostate, rectal, leukemia, renal, bladder, adrenal. And personally, this sounds too good to be true to me. So, I'm going to do further research. I don't know if this is true. However, I'm not a bigot. So I don't just ignore all these things that the mainstream, lamestream, YouTube, big tech media tries to tell me couldn't possibly be true.
Oh, right-wing media posted it. It's got to be false. Oh, left-wing media posted it. It's got to be false.
But I see a whole lot of studies from this one guy over here on X talking about these clinical trials that he's having. I don't know if they're clinical. They're alternate doctor, independent doctor trials that they're doing basically with these people with ivermectin and fenbendazole and then another endendazole. And allegedly, bro, these people are having less cancer. Absolutely bonkers. And then one dude posted his wife's got real bad cancer. I forget what the hell it was. And they talked to the doctor, and the doctor was like, yeah, I don't know about that, but I guess we could try it because she's going to die. And so she's like into it like a month or something. So he's like, oh, I'm going to keep you guys up, but yeah, up to date. But he was posting in here, and it's tricky, bro, because if you ask most, anybody that started their awakening journey, it's hard to believe that the medical system would want to allow people to have a cure to cancer because they just make less money.
I mean, I feel like they just don't know how to maximize the money on them. They have a fear that they'll lose money, but they will actually make more money if they do it right.
Are you saying that you think they're like the government and they're just misspending?
Yeah, they might be very inefficient per se.
Neither confirm nor deny. Okay, here we
All
go.
alleged.
This is Ian Carroll. Yeah. So this one went really big because I think this is the one that he ratioed Elon with. I don't know, man. There was like some internet drama stuff. Yeah, I think this is the one. So Elon was saying something, but then Ian posted down here that the APAC purchased the seats of about 90% of more of the current Congress, and JFK famously wanted to make them registered as a foreign agent right before he was shot and assassinated, and then they changed their name and never actually registered. So how are we allowing this foreign company that's like owned by foreigners, like another country, it's like Israel or something, right? How are we allowing them to lobby and then literally fund our Congress people's campaigns, which one may say is buying them off? It's like, dude, where are the where are the adults, right? So Israel was obviously the state sponsored of Jeffrey Epstein, whose handler was Ehud Barak, ex-head of Israel military intelligence. His funding was Les Wexner, which was the CEO of Victoria's Secret, one of the world's richest Zionists or philanthropists, and he was accused by ex-Mossad assets of being Mossad. Not to mention that Maxwell connection, Ghislaine Maxwell. They had blackmail on Clinton and many, many more. Who holds the blackmail holds the leash. Just ask Edgar Hoover, right? So a bunch of speculative stuff that, we're just covering the news here, YouTube. But, it's pretty difficult to say that, Jeffrey Epstein was not connected to Mossad because his girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell's father, was an agent of Mossad, which Mossad is like Israel CIA. So, there's a whole big entangled weaving there where, it kind of like draws a picture that the whole Jeffrey Epstein Island may have been a, blackmail island.
Mossad is in everywhere, allegedly.
They're the kings of information.
Apparently, a lot of ISIS leaders are Mossad agents.
Which is like a honey trap, right? Like, oh, they're just trying to get people to stop them.
Yeah.
Well, how far do you go? Like, do you kidnap a governor?
Right.
Do you kidnap someone like Governor Whitmer and find out that 14 of the people, were actually FBI agents and only 2 of them were actually people that were, entrapped into kidnapping the governor?
Nudged, poked with sticks from all sides. Come on, do something. Come on.
Yeah, so that's absolutely
Come on, do
bonkers,
something.
man.
Love the poking some with a stick meme.
But Ian had a big, long, good one here, man. This is a good one from the week. He also had one where he broke down the stock market. I think I posted that later. Oh, yeah, here it is.
Giant mega corporation. And I'm not talking about metaphorically. And I'm not talking about BlackRock. I'm talking about what's really behind BlackRock. See, we hit 1 million followers on TikTok this week, and I've been waiting to post this video since the very first video that I made, laying the groundwork of understanding so that we're all going to understand this.
When he hit 1 million on TikTok, so he was like, in commemoration or in celebration of 1 million on X, how about I post the video instead of making a fresh one from when I hit 1 million on TikTok?
Now that we're here. So let's break it down real simple. If you're going to go grocery shopping at a corporate grocery store, all of these corporations are owned by these institutions. They're highlighted in red if they're on all 4 of these sheets. They're darker orange if they're on 3 of them, and light orange if they're on 2. And there's only a couple that only appear once. It's mostly the same money. But we go deeper. If you go for the biggest tech companies, it's basically the exact same list for all 4 of these. That would be Vanguard, BlackRock, State Street, Fidelity, T. Rowe Price, Geode, which is similar to Fidelity Associated, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley. And then Northern Trust is on 3 of them, and Capital World Investors is the exact same thing as Capital Research and Management Company. So you might think, okay, these are the institutions that own the whole stock market. But who owns them? And see, if you've been around here for a minute, you already know. They all own each other. Just a giant cross-ownership pool. And this is where it gets really interesting. Because see, way back before I'd even posted a single video, I was sitting in my office reading this report from an anonymous user on Reddit. And he had noticed the exact same thing that I'm talking about right now. And he wrote a program to put all that data into a visualization so we can see who owns who. And I'm about to show you what he figured out. Let's take BlackRock, for example. This is a list of the top institutional owners of BlackRock and how much of the company they own. And if you visualize it, it looks like this, where the whole square is all of BlackRock's stock, and they get a percentage of that square based on how much they own. And the important colors to note are that white symbolizes us, retail investors, and gray symbolizes insiders that work at the company. So that would be like Larry Fink's stock, among other people. And everything else is other giant corporations, investment banks, like BlackRock.
I love this stuff. I don't know about everybody else. It starts to get a little nerdy where I feel like people drop off, but it's like, no, that's the part you need to keep paying attention for, man. Don't lose interest. Don't lose interest. Oh, visualizations. Oh, I'm out. No, dude, no, hang in here. So the little white, bro, is just us, man, right? That's crazy.
Themselves own a little bit. State Street owns some. Capital World Management owns some. Bank of America owns some. You see how this works? But then you think about it and you're like, well, wait a minute, because all of these institutions are owned by other institutions, right? So what if we put that data in here? Well, he did. And it looks like this. And you realize that all of this that was owned by Merrill Lynch is actually owned by all of these other institutions and a little bit of us, retail, up there at the top. But here, we've only replaced Merrill Lynch's section. What about all of these guys? Well, then it looks like this. Remember, white is retail investors like you and me, and everything else is giant mega corporations. And if you go one layer deeper, filling in all those corporations with their corporations, you see how this program's working? And so then we simplify it to just black, gray, and white. And this is who owns BlackRock. White is retail investors like you and me. Gray is insiders at all of these corporations like CEOs and other executives. And black is just corporations owning each other.
Isn't this cool?
Love nerds.
Call it Megacorp. This is the same process done for Bank of America and for State Street and for Best Buy, Amazon, Macy's, groceries, food, ingredients.
Amazon was actually like pretty big for the like retail trader. That's like a quarter.
Right, yeah.
Hot damn.
Well, how much? I guess that. Wait,
Like this
since,
chunk right
since
here?
Bezos stepped out as like owner of the company, would he then be in the white if he's invested in Amazon?
No, it'd probably be insider still. I would imagine, but
He might be that great.
Maybe,
he
yeah.
might be that gray corner in the bottom.
Fugazi. No, the big white part is actually just the guy that said, I'm not in the company technically.
I just love to invest in my company.
Amazon, Macy's, groceries, food, ingredients, building and selling homes, even less white, meaning us, retail ownership. As far as I can tell, there's only one company on the entire stock market that is not owned by Megacorp. Can you guess who it is? Do you know? It's GameStop. Except that this photo's out of date because it's from a few years ago. It probably looks more like this if you believe the public info, which is a big if. But more on that another time. This is not a video about GameStop. This is about Megacorp. Because see, when all of the owners own each other, all of their interests are aligned. BlackRock wants State Street to do well because State Street wants BlackRock to do well because they both own each other. So who is the real final boss behind all the money? Well, isn't that the $1 million question? And ever since I've been asking those more important questions, my follower growth went from this to this. So you're not going to find those answers on this channel. You're going to have to go follow me in other places.
And that's what he said about TikTok, folks. So make sure to share this show out because I don't think they're going to be helping pump our show out here, trying to bring the alternate news facts out for you.
Well, we don't got to worry about TikTok for that much longer. But have you heard about TikTok?
So they're saying they're going to ban it.
Gonna be pulling it, or well, no, China. I heard China's pulling it.
But have
like,
you
they're not going
heard
to let us use it.
that Mr. Wonderful?
Which, if that's what it is, it's like, oh, it definitely was an op just to get a bunch of data mining from
But
us.
have
US.
you heard that Mr. Wonderful is working with another magnanimous rich billionaire guy to buy it? Crazy, right?
I thought you were going to say compete. And be like, yeah, it's going to be hard.
He said that he is going to start working with the Joe Biden administration immediately, and when inauguration Trump comes in, try to finish the deal with Trump. and they're going to try and buy TikTok and make it domestic. They would then have to decouple from all Chinese servers and all possible infiltration of the CCP, Chinese Communist Party.
Trump's going to be like, I'll only allow you to buy it if we buy it on the terms that it gets renamed to Trump Talk.
Gonna be called Trump Talker. We have no deal.
Yep, no deal otherwise.
I don't know if you noticed this, but I like Trump Tower, Trump Plaza, Trump everything.
I always just thought TikTok didn't have quite the right ring to it.
I wanted to do Trump Truck, but they all told me it'd be too hard for people to say.
Trump Tick Trump doesn't really, have the same ring. Might make me sound a little off-putting, like I got a tick.
Trump Talk's not so bad.
Because you know what I do? I talk, and it's Trump Talk.
Let me see if I can pull up this clip I found, man. But yeah, Mr. Wonderful is talking about buying this ish, bro. Oh, he is straight up taking pictures with Trump. Okay. But he's a smart guy, bro. Because when all this banana was going on about Trump and everything, bro, he was on the mainstream media, like very middle of the road guy, saying like, hey, I'm not going to be all like, talk about the politics of it. Because they kept trying to get him to like say,
he was like,
I'm
Mr. Wonderful, I'm about my money. So this is who I'm voting because based on what the policies are going to do with the money. And he was generally always siding somewhat towards Trump because, oh yeah, just as happens to be the businessman is good at making deals and good at making things prosperous.
And I would say it wasn't even siding towards Trump. He was just saying what they're doing to Trump right here is going to ruin business in New York because nobody's going to want to do business
big one.
here.
Yeah. All investors in New York are going to be like,
and then they did.
Why do I? Yeah.
They pulled out.
Yep. They all were leaving, just like the mass exodus to California and Illinois.
Yeah, I can't find
everybody's leaving. Mr. Beast.
To get this deal done without the White House's approval of how you're structuring it post-China, because everybody knows that this thing leaks data, and that's why it's not on government phones. That's why corporations ban it, and that's why many people like me have burner phones for TikTok. However, I do use it for 5 million small businesses, of which many are mine, or I'm invested in them. We use this platform for acquiring customers. So I asked them specifically this week, can I fork the code? In other words, could I take a picture of the Chinese algorithm code and alter it and have it audited by national security? And they said, no, we're not going to allow that code near the new TikTok. So whoever buys it, and I'm one of those advocates of buying it, you're going to have to rewrite this algorithm, and that's the risk. Because if this thing doesn't work the way it does now, it's not worth anywhere near $100 billion. All you're buying is 170 million names and a brand called TikTok. So it's a complicated deal. I think the price right now without the algorithm is more in the $15 to $25 billion price, if that.
Huh. Guy who created TikTok, he's just like, woo, billions, I'm feeling good. He is feeling fine right now.
It's like the Twitter purchase, bro. So it was absolutely not worth billions. However, it's like clout and the like importance of it and like the auctioning of it technically, right? Made it worth that. So like, hey, you're going to have to like, intrinsic value, right? Eye of the beholder, blah, 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 right? So like, is it actually worth that in real factual actuality? Hell no, that painting of some woman that's like, wishy-washy, it ain't worth that, dog. But if everybody
Elon
knows the
did it
artist and
just
thinks the
for-
artist is
just for the
fancy,
use.
oh yeah, no, all of a sudden the painting's totally worth that, man.
Banana duct taped to wall. Oh my God.
Yeah,
The-
but if it's
the
from a
art of
famous
it.
artist guy, all of a sudden it's worth monies, right? So, very similar, man. So TikTok, maybe not worth it, but the current landscape of things and the clout that and power and control that it has.
I'm gonna throw a Danish at the wall where it sticks on there, and I'm gonna frame it. It's gonna be an amazing new piece.
Soon I won't be able to ask what Facebook's fact checkers say about this anymore. So I wonder what YouTube's fact checkers say about this. I wonder what like thing they're gonna put in our video because it's like all over. They're not gonna be able to be like one fact check, right? Like that's why they were just like shut the show down 2 weeks ago. They were like cancel it.
Insane amounts of misinformation.
We couldn't handle it. My head's exploded.
Too much truth.
Trolley, can you call YouTube and tell them that it's
fizzed out.
approved? So in
Yeah, just
June
let them know.
1970, the U.S. Forest Service, under sponsorship of the, I'm going to give this one like Obama. In June 1970, the U.S. Forest Service, under the sponsorship of the Advanced Research Projects Agency, or ARPA, published a report titled Forest Fires as Military Weapons. I got to talk and pause because people are stupid. So you'll understand the words that I'm saying.
Don't want to talk too fast. I might lose some people.
You might
at
say he's
a point.
anti-racist because every black dude I know talks like stupid fast, bro. So they'd understand, dog. He was just talking to the dumb whiteys.
I think it just coincides with him being a pothead. That's all. That you guys wouldn't even know. Out the lettuce I just smoked.
Well, according to Sinclair,
Only the strain I get to smoke, and it is the best.
Well, according to Sinclair, pot was not his drug of choice.
True, and that would definitely make it seem like he'd be talking fast.
If I talk
Yet-
really slow, they won't think I'm actually on crack right now.
Allegedly.
This study was initiated in 1965 at the request of Joint Chiefs of Staff who sought to explore the use of using forest fires as a tactical weapon in military operations. So when Facebook or YouTube tries to tell us, hey, we're spreading misinformation about forest fires and, things that would light forest fires on fire, I don't know what lights, forest fires on fire other than, climate change or maybe the 1970 United States Forest Service fire as a military weapon project. I don't know, dude. But the research was aimed to determine whether intentionally set forest fires could be used to destroy enemy resources, create barriers, or force movement by making large areas impassable. Which, they did this just for military use. That makes sense to me, right?
I don't want to be like, do you think it wouldn't be? Like, how did you think it couldn't possibly be used? It's just the way you use it.
Well,
if it's possible to be used as a weapon, and do they have forestry that could be some places? You ain't gonna do forest fire warfare in the Sahara, but obviously other places in the past, the Vikings, they burned the places to the ground. Obviously, it was a good tactic, like we've known for thousands of years. So what kind of it's just an excuse for them to burn things
What's
up.
the Roman thing? Fire water?
Was it? I thought it was Greek. Had
Yeah,
the fire
Greek
water.
fire, I think it's just called, or something like that.
Greek fire.
Yeah, that was like a big
Yeah,
woo-woo. Couldn't put it
where
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be burning in the middle of the ocean, just
Right.
water's on
That's what I
fire.
thought, fire water.
Right.
So
Fire water is Indian whiskey.
they just didn't see the new Star Wars movie with Kylo Ren and Rey, and where the guy started a fire barrier, and then all of a sudden they had to have a dialogue, because fire in between us, shit.
We totally can't jump all the way over this.
Yes, I don't have Jedi jumping strength or anything. But this is allegedly the unclassified document here showing that the 1970 forest fire military project is a real thing. And that's from Shadow of Ezra on X. If you got an X account, definitely follow this one. Not everything they post is amazing and 100% true, just like us. Everything we say is not true, folks. Do your own research, look it up, and talk to us in the live chat during the show or drop a comment in the replay, man. Definitely got to be getting engaged here, my good, fine fellowed followers. Make sure to drop your thoughts in the chat below. And if you're watching back in the replay, you got to join us live, man, because we got to get some more friends for Trolley in here to talk to, man. Trolley's over here just, making a wall of text now. Just talking to his own damn self. What does YouTube say about the official Pfizer release of the side effects of the COVID shot?
I wonder if they had any, things to post that it did good.
They were trying to say that we did medical misinformation, like we told people to do or don't. I don't remember saying any of that.
The whole thing is it was supposed to stop the spread and keep you from getting COVID. So, swing and a miss and a swing and a miss.
No shit.
And
Yeah, if you haven't seen this yet, man, the official Pfizer list of side effects of the COVID-19 shot. Ready? Blood thrombosis, acute kidney injury, acute flaccid myelitis, positive antisperm antibodies, brainstem embolism, brainstem thrombosis, cardiac arrest, heart failure, cardiac ventricular thrombosis, cardiogenic shock, central nervous system vascularitis, neonatal death, so like miscarriages,
Thanks. So.
deep vein thrombosis, brainstem encephalitis, hemorrhagic encephalitis, frontal lobe epilepsy. Damn, I was always worried of rear lobe epilepsy. Foaming at the mouth. God dang. Epileptic psychosis. The fatal distress syndrome. Like, God bless America. We're still
I
scrolling.
didn't realize there was so many more. It was alphabetical. Holy shit.
Jugular vein thrombosis. Liver. We're skipping them, folks. We're skipping them.
Type
Myocarditis is
1
in there.
diabetes mellitus.
Oh my God, there's a mellitus of diabetes? Good gravy. And God bless anybody that had to deal with some kind of vaccine injury like this, folks. This is absolutely horrible.
And then sudden death.
And then sudden death at the bottom here, bro. I don't want to giggle and laugh at the silliness of this list and lessen the severity of this.
More like the
at
people
all.
that have had these actually happen to them. So it's definitely not funny, you know, for them.
Bro, it is silly how long this list is. I know a few people that had, you know, vaccine injuries, bro, but they weren't severe. Like, God bless.
Like, I mean,
but, man,
I'm
Lord.
gonna have to laugh a little bit because, like, come on, you didn't do your research. A company has been open for over 100 years, and they haven't cured a single disease.
God,
aka Pfizer, and they're
Most
gonna
criminally
say
charged.
this is good. Yeah,
most criminally charged company in America.
I don't think I would buy anything from that company.
Well,
Yet
what's tricky?
People are lining up.
So I was like, people had asked me, and I'm like, well, I'm not a medical physician. I'm not a doctor. I can't tell you what to do. But Moderna is shady, and Pfizer is shady, and they both have the mRNA. So if I were to get the vaccine, I would have went with the J&J because it was still a traditional, more vaccine structure. It wasn't like the new mRNA thing.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, they tried to say, oh, mRNA was causing problems, and they took it down. And it was like, maybe it really was because it wasn't well tested.
Man.
But like, how did these ones still survive if they took down the J&J shot that didn't have this new, you know what I mean? It's so kooky because they clearly wanted to push the mRNA one for what reason? Just for studying everybody like live? Like
more than likely,
figure it out.
what I actually never heard the ending of that case when the guy was suing, because it was making you basically a piece of U.S. government property because you taking the experimental vaccine was, according to him, like if you look at law, like a certain law, what it states, statute, whatever it was, that now you're basically a piece of experimental property.
Right.
And since you have a social security number, you were government property before, and now you're experimental government property. So you basically lose a whole bunch of like your rights.
Yeah.
And so maybe that's why they want, because, you know, the more people they can get on that, the more they could possibly, you go with vaccines. Oh, hey, you know, we're having a difficult time hunting these other guys that like didn't take the vaccine. And so like, they're just not dying off. And it's kind of hard to actually send people to go like hunt these guys down because we don't want those people around.
Right.
So we're just going to make it where it's easier to now make you go bye-bye.
I'm also curious.
In case we can't make one of them go bye-bye. And we made it easy in case we got to lessen it, which we made you easy to go bye-bye.
I'm also
if we
curious
need
of
to.
the update on it voids your life insurance as well.
Right, yeah, yeah.
Because I was hearing that a lot too, but I
Mhm.
haven't heard any kind of an update or like further corroboration of that.
Right, yeah.
Oh man, Gavin Newsom got nuked by the community notes, bro. This is why the other ones did not have community notes, bro. So not only did Gavin Newsom do this, but the POS, Miss Elizabeth Warren, makes a post and she says, you know, hey folks, if you could split your donation money between this charity and make sure to click on my link thingy so that the money goes directly to them. And it was a link to her effing Democratic Campaign Act Blue website, bruh. So Mr. Gavin Newsom does the same bullshit. This is like straight up lying, folks. This is demonstrable. So he says, a lot of misinformation out there. We just launched a new website to ensure public has access to fact-based data around Southern California fires. Here, donate to this website. And the community notes hits him and is like, yeah, the website for Governor Newsom linked is not an actual state website, but rather takes you to his political campaign website.
Gotcha.
So when you do that, that link to donate to California Fire Foundation actually then takes you to Act Blue, the Democrat fundraising platform where they are going to take 4% of the
If
transaction.
anybody's been paying attention to California, all the money that's been getting spent in all these places for government programs, this and that, supposed to help the homelessness out, supposed to help the water storage facilities out for when we have times like this, when we need extra water. Man, all this money gets said it's going to go somewhere. But the only person we've been seeing living great is Newsom.
Yep. And any
Yeah.
other of his cronies, right? Because, like, isn't Nancy Pelosi out of California? Is AOC out of California? No, she's in New York.
I think she's in New York.
Yeah, she's over there. Yeah, good old
not,
good old
definitely
Planet
California.
of Memes, man, crushes it with another one. This guy's like a professional meme artist, man. God bless. Yeah, and then here's the one where Miss Pocahontas herself, Elizabeth Warren, like I was telling you. So go and give the money to this charity, secure.actblue.com. Community notes. This is not a link to charity. It's a link to the Democratic fundraising platform. They take 4% of the transaction. And it goes to the Democratic campaign. So you can't tell if it gets to the charity. That's demonstrable, bro. That's like one of those small things, but blows my effing
I
mind.
wish I could say I was like surprised
I
or
know,
even
right?
turned by, because like, what a surprise. Woo.
Oh, that blows my mind, dog. That's insanity. You can donate directly to these charities.
Y'all need to wake up. Open your eyes, ding dongs. Thorny Velcro.
Much appreciated. Thorny Velcro? Thorny Velcro. Mr. Thorny Velcro, you got to keep a Trump behind you, man. You know, keep everyone honest.
Got to have Trump watching your six.
I'm on the phone with Biden right now. This
Oh,
was
that
sad, bro.
That was a funny clip.
This woman was freaking like, you know, almost on the border of crying, and she's all like, dude, the house is burnt down. What are we going to do? What are you going to do? And he's like, I'm on the phone with Biden. She's like, call him right now. I don't believe you. And I was like, oh, this poor woman, dude. Yeah, no, he's lying to you, honey.
Did you see the video of like they're in the Oval Office and they got the TV up, apparently him on a Zoom call, and then Biden and Kamala are sitting in there like, what? Hey, like, all right, 3, 2, action.
Yeah.
Like, all look just so staged up.
Which, I mean, like, if you're going to have a real call and then do a staged one for Media Puff, okay, that is kind of how the world works and shit, but, you know.
Now you just suck.
Like
If you can't do it, if you can't pull from the real situation,
right,
you suck.
Oh yeah, this was a good follow up on that one we were talking about earlier. So when Ian Carroll was saying, you know, like Epstein was some kind of a Mossad connected operation or something, you know, the fact check, the YouTube, you know, they may try to say like, oh, that's not proven, you can't say that, you know, or oh, that's anti-Semitic, you know, oh, that's horrible. So this misfit patriot says, you know, couldn't give an F less if Jeffrey Epstein was connected to Mossad. That was my whole point. You take half-truths and use them to frame narratives to combat Zionists, and you don't even know what the F you know, the word means. Congratulations, you're a useful idiot for Islam because you proved a pedophile was a Jewish spy. Oh, great. And basically what this dude just did was, you know, at first, you know, they say, there's no evidence at all that, you know, Epstein worked for Israel. And then when you kind of, you know, give them some evidence, they're like, oh, you're an anti-Semitic. And then when you, like, prove to them that you're not anti-Semitic and it's just factual evidence, they're like, so what if, you know, Epstein worked with Israel? Whatever, dude. It's not a big deal. So I was kind of thinking, like, my libtard playbook, you know, that Trolley's really good at, right? So first you start off with a character attack. And then when you prove that they were character attacking you, they project and said, no, you did. No, you called me a name. And then when you prove that's not true, Then they try and gaslight you, and they're like, "Oh, well, I never called you a name. What are you talking about?" And then when you prove all three of those, they rage quit.
Yep.
Right? So, like, what do we call this one? This is like, I don't know if we can come up with a name for this one, but this is like you tell them some kind of a conspiracy theory fact, and they say, "No, it's not true." Then they say, "Oh, you're a bigot." And then when you prove those first two right, they say, "Oh, what does it matter anyway?" And it's like, yeah, no, like it still matters, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it might not be the biggest win ever, but still matters.
yeah, I don't know what to call this one. Maybe it's just like it's like the same thing, bro. It's like a different version. It's a different play out the libtard playbook, man. Like, absolutely ridiculous, man. It's deny, character attack, and then dismiss.
Character attack, gaslight, rage quit.
Right? That's the normal one. So maybe this one's just the same shit.
Basically, that's what I thought you were pretty much saying. It's just the same thing. I mean, a lot of it
absolutely
all just
insanity.
aligns with that.
Essentially, I guess, right? I was wondering if it needed a different name, but it's the same thing. I think you've helped me realize. Absolutely insanity. Crazy. Yeah, here's more of the evidence of these like criminal aliens starting fires, I believe. Yeah, Mr. Benny Johnson with another great AI intro here. I'm flicking the cutoff cam.
What's up, guys? It's Benny. Donald Trump will be inaugurated 7 days from now. You want to know how you got Trump? This is how you got Trump. This story is how you get.
Absolutely insane, bro. I can't believe we got people starting fires and shit, bro. Insane. What do you got for us here, Dan?
Oh, just more evidence of bullcrap. Caught red-handed. The feds, they always are.
Babel X. Babel X is like, I don't know if you guys remember, I talked about last October this program called Fog Data Reveal Service. It's basically the same thing. All your social media, your social security numbers, your personal records is in this database. You guys look it up. It's from Babel Street. It's called Babel X. And the FBI just bought 5,000 licenses to use this platform to gather information on random citizens whenever they want. And they can do it without a warrant. And imagine if Babel X,
now they can just
all the data in there was connected to this blockchain address, which is 100% identified to you because it's your literal DNA footprint. And so that's what I was thinking. In the future, all this gathering of DNA may be just a way to permanently identify you. Absolutely. Because they can sequence that into a blockchain. And then once we all are on this federal blockchain, our addresses are literally going to be our DNA sequence. The FBI just purchased 5,000.
That kind of like goes into the whole like OG Alex Jones chip ya, blah, blah, blah. Take away your money.
Well, based off your social media accounts, we're going to the big thing that I like to bring up is the alleged program where you're going to write algorithms. So anything of even real, like all the cameras watching your real life movements, there's going to be an algorithm that's basically going to say you're going to do a crime and you don't even do it, but it's going to say you are going to be making a crime. And so a civilization can be so advanced, and it's all about, they're going to arrest you because they could say we're definitely going to do it, even though you could totally not do it.
Yeah, no, they got.
You could have total, 180 right before you do it, which I don't know what the percentage, if we could somehow have figured that out by asking these people, and they're actually telling us like useful information to have a stat on that data-wise. But who knows what the number is? Either way, how are you going to? That's communism.
Well, and then it's a moot
you
point.
haven't done something yet.
Then
but
it's a moot point.
like that's. I mean, I can understand making a threat.
They're not even arresting the
like
people
making
that
a
have done it.
threat. You didn't do the threat, but you made a threat. So now you like.
Well, they're not even arresting the people that have done crime. So then it's like, what would they use this for? It'd be all lies. It'd be like, We don't like you. Oh, you had a bad thought.
Well,
Arrest that man.
well, the main thing, as I want to point out, was when he went over since they're buying this data from this company, the feds can now get info on you without a warrant.
Right.
They can just go right around that shit.
Right.
They don't need to get the courts involved.
That sounds kind
Which,
of like fascist.
not getting the courts involved. Yeah, that seems a little interesting.
Government
there.
working with private industry. Tricky. Tricky. Not to mention China has all of my DNA from 23andMe. So, whoops. Hey, if you're an Illinoisan, here's a waste of your time, but you should probably do it so we're not disgusted with the flag.
Oh yeah. This I'm glad you seen this too.
Did you see this? So out of 4,800 flags, this is what they came up with, folks. So this is the one I voted for.
That seems
It's
kind of
the same thing we got. I was hoping that
American-ish.
somebody was going to redo the logo. Like, hey, let's modernize the eagle and the shield in our 1988 or 1888 date of like getting, like turned into a state or some shit.
Yeah.
And then, let's just modernize the logo so it looks nice, new, and modern. No, these idiots picked a flag that looks like what? Here's a star and a banner.
And that's actually a better iteration of the one. Like,
Here's the Illinois iPass logo. Here's Israel's flag, but re-envisioned as Illinois' flag. Here's, I don't know. Oh, I get it.
That was uploaded
It's an
from
I.
Southern Illinois.
Yeah. Okay, here's one. Okay, how about the state with Abe Lincoln in the middle? Wow, what visionaries were these designers, man. Here's a star with a bunch of stars around it.
That one has Israel colors and North Korean design concept.
And then how about this one? It's like an orange, but like blue.
Hey, it's a pizza because, we got Chicago. We're the capital of Pie City.
Or they're candy corns when it's Halloween. All right, how about this one? Israel's colors again, but like it's Illinois in the middle with stars around it.
There's so much Israel colors.
And then we got to put one that's outside of the box. Like the monarch butterfly is really cool in Illinois. So like, how about the entire effing state flag as a butterfly?
I think that's just DEI.
So I was like, yeah, no, never mind, bro. Let's just, let's just vote for this one and like keep the same original seal and just put like bars on the edge. Because the guy even says like, hey, this isn't very inventive, but instead of just putting like a seal on a like bed sheet, how about we just put like bars on the side so it actually looks like a flag? Yeah, amen, brother. Yeah, because all these other ones are trash in my humble opinion. What's this one? What is this?
Part of our farming culture. But again, why?
What is this?
Why 6-pointed?
3 6-pointed stars represent the state's 3 regions: northern, central, and southern. What?
Just Jewish influence.
And their 18 points reference Illinois' founding in 1818.
Sure.
It's blue for unity, green for agriculture, and yellow for a bright future. Good God almighty, I wish I saw this. I would have made an effing logo, bro. This one's also like, that's not a flag, bro. That's like a cool graphic you make.
Well, do you see? It's like the edge of Lincoln's face.
No, I'm with you, but that ain't no flag.
I keep
That's
seeing,
stupid.
I keep seeing the white part and going, what is that? Is that like a deformed California?
Yeah, is it like the Rock River? I don't get it.
I mean, we are like a deformed California.
Oh, so it's like Illinois and yeah, no, dude, this is not a flag, in my humble
Oh
opinion.
yeah, it is Illinois on the other side. Look
That's
at
that's a cool graphic that you make for something, bro. That ain't no flag. Get out of here, bro. Can I vote for it again? How does this work?
Well, that's the original.
Same seal, just put some bars on the edge, man. So, if you're an Illinoisan, or maybe if you just respect not dumb designs that you just saw, go ahead and click on this link over here in our locals community and make sure that your vote is heard for the new flag. It's going on until February 14th, so you got a month and a day from today to go ahead and make your vote. So if you're in Illinois, make sure to please go here and just vote for that same seal, because I might vomit if I see those other flags flying, man. God bless.
What's
Mr. Thorny says, to be fair, pretty much can get any information they want from us because of Section 702 under FISA, which sadly the deep state made Tulsi flip on just recently. Yeah, man, that was like a little low-key interesting one, right? So somehow they got Tulsi to like publicly flip on so that she could like get in or something. They said she has to flip on her views on FISA in order to get certified. So she said like, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, which, I mean, she could just change her mind once she gets in. So I was like, okay, you got to play chess. So hopefully they're still tough on the whole FISA court thing, bro, because I do agree. I think that's like an overstep of, governance at most times, right?
Yeah.
It looks like the logo for Greenpeace. I hear you. I like Mr. Thorny in the chat, man. You should show up more often. I dig it. I dig it, Mr. Thorny Velcro. I'm pretty sure that's all I got for us.
Sweet. Yep.
Dan's about to fall asleep.
No, I got a freaking Sicily race.
Which,
the Red Bull is calling, and it is about that time. It'd be good to wrap it up. Otherwise, you can wrap it up, and I will by yourself because I'm just gonna go ahead and do my business.
That's the show, man. If you don't got no closing notes, you'll go ahead and wrap it up for us.
I mean, I'll do the closing. I just didn't know if you were going to somehow span it out another 30 minutes
No, man, I'm all good. Thank you so very much for showing up to the TrutherCast. Folks, if you want to join us in the locals community, just click on the link in the description box down below, locals.massstash.com. If you're typing it out, it's 3 S's in a row. There's 4 in the whole word, Mass Stash. But join our Mass Stash of Insights community and, help us put together all the news and the factoids of the independent journalists, the citizen journalists, and all of that alternate kind of news that the lamestream media, kind of continues to lie about, right? And, what we really believe here is that awareness brings that realization. So together we can help more people find the realization. I love talking to my friends, family, and strangers and acquaintances and dropping little news, factoids, and breadcrumbs. And listening to them bring me facts and news breadcrumbs that's helping them along their awakening journey. It is fantastic seeing more people on the internet awakening to the realizations of all of this kind of shit that we're being lied to and, all of the things that are around us trying to harm us and not allow us to continue to be a founded nation of likewise individuals and move forward here in, general communities. So, make sure to like the show, share it out to a friend, family member, a foe. Share the show out, and we might be able to double the viewership. And that way we can get more trolls in here to join Trolley's army and more like-minded people like us so we can have a fun debate in the live chat during the live show or drop in those comments if you're watching. Thank you very much for hanging out with us again. Need a computer guy? Links down below. Signup.toleratetech.com. Otherwise, just make sure to not be a hoe.
And share that show, hoes.
I got a 2. I got a 1.
Boop, boop.
We've got an all right, folks. All right, all right.
All right, all right, all right.
You just got done watching the TrutherCast. I mean, I guess you do that too, but again, they didn't write me a script to the end of the show either. But you're done watching the TrutherCast, so thank you. Go like it, subscribe it, follow, like, get it out, like the guy said. Thanks very much, and keep coming back to watch more TrutherCast. Bye.
Uh-huh.